I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Live from the Xfinity Studio. Good morning, everybody. Clap your hands and play it. Yeah. Are you kidding me? They continue. Down 19. Second game of a back-to-back. And there it is. They come back and beat the Wizards, force OT, right? And then win it. They're down. Amazing. What amazing. They're so much fun. Oh, my God. I've enjoyed it. It's really cool because we're enjoying regular season basketball. Like, I'm not even thinking about the playoffs or whatever. I'm just enjoying a game on a Tuesday night against the Wizards. Like, if you would have told me I would be this excited in the fourth game of the year against the Wizards, second game of a back-to-back, I'd been like, you're out of your mind. Like, in October? Really? No way. No way. But the way the circumstances fell, with no expectations, with, oh, God, after last year's just, like, horrible season, all of a sudden, Edgecombe, Maxey's just out of his mind, right? But all those things conspire to make you go, wow, this is awesome. This is fun. I would have never thought that I would have this reaction if they're in an October regular season game, especially given the history, right? Last year's, train wreck of his season, not getting out of the second round, all that stuff. Yet, lo and behold, here we are after an overtime win in Washington against Alex Sarr, and all of a sudden we're like, yeah, let's get nuts. It's a blast. It's so much fun, right? Last night, Edgecombe's in foul trouble. It's a Maxey again. Grimes played well, a couple big shots down the stretch to help them in the comeback. They played really good defense. Like, you knew when they were starting to cut into that lead, there was about just under 5 minutes to go in the game. And you could tell the Wizards were just kind of hanging on, and the Sixers were in attack mode. And Maxey just attacking the glass, going to the line, big shot. Oh, he's the greatest, man. He is the greatest. You've now seen the transformation of the star, right? Like, we saw him be an all-star, and he's now transforming into a superstar. He looks like that. It's really a joy. And they're fun, right? Like, they're just a fun story. The basketball is fun basketball. I don't know, 4-0, and that's why I kept wanting, like, oh, you got to win, you got to win, you got to win, you got to win. Back-to-back. And B played well in his short period of time. So, like, you're hoping that these little things come together. But, man, it's fun. I'm stunned. I'm stunned that they've been this much fun this early. They've captured the imagination of the whole city. The city's behind it. The city's excited. Like, we're not the only ones here. The city's into it in a big way. All over social media. You hear it everywhere. It's cool, man. It's a really cool gift. And look, it was a great night last night because the frozen frenzy in the NHL, Fly guys win, right? Like, they come in against Pittsburgh, and look, they outplayed Penguins all night. Goalie Silvas was ridiculous for them. And it was awesome, man. It was a great night. Flyers, Sixers. We get Flyers and Sixers to go with the, obviously the Birds are juggernaut, right? Beast. Birds are, they're a Super Bowl contender. Phillies go into the offseason. And look, it's a 4-for-4. Everybody's got a shot. That's my goal, my dream for 2026, because 2026 is our year. And I just want all 4 teams with a legitimate shot. All right? So going into it, hoping the Sixers have a shot this year, the Flyers have a shot next year, right? Like 26 into 27. Next year could be just a blast. It's going to be great. All right, lots and lots to do today. It's going to be fun. The Brain's going to join us, so we'll go over the weekend's football. We got Kyle. I can't wait to talk to Kyle Neubeck about this team. Mike SIelski, who we love. TV Todd, a special part 2 of our Halloween. This is where Todd gives us the greatest Halloween movies ever made. All right? Nobody's got taste like Todd. This is going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, it's a World Cup Wednesday. And Tim McDermott, president of the Union, will be here. Union win their first leg last weekend and then go to Chicago to finish them off. So good stuff. A lot of fun stuff today. And with the Eagles on the bye, the perfect recipe is a little Sixer flyer action. Good morning, VG.
Man, what a night, dude. It was a night where, like, it felt like it wasn't the same buzz and energy. You're like, all right, back-to-back nights. They're a little tired. It's not the same. And then something just clicked in the fourth quarter, man. They look like they got their energy. Well,
Maxey
and Bona. Everybody's boned up today.
Yeah.
He had himself the last 7 minutes of that fourth quarter and an overtime, man. Because that dude was swatting everything and no fouls.
What's he got?
Not one foul, 5 blocks.
What's he got, 9 blocks in 2 games?
Dude, it's crazy.
That's
everything we wanted coming out of UCLA. High energy, get some boards, get some blocks, and he was perfect last night.
Swat. Swat.
Dude, so 0 fouls. I was like, this has got to be an error. I like triple checked it on different box scores. I was like, no fouls.
It was, the other night, he picked up 2 early fouls. Monday night.
Yeah.
What's today? Wednesday. It was a Monday night. He picked up 2 early fouls and didn't get another foul the rest of the game.
Which is surprising because he averages like a foul a minute. Usually it feels like.
I know.
So maybe and hey, another nice one from Kel Oubre.
Yeah,
11 boards, 17 points.
Can we talk about? Grimes. I thought Grimes played well.
Grimes had a nice game
during the comeback. He had a lot. He played very well. But listen, this thing's about Maxey. He's sitting at 22. It was early it was like middle of the fourth. He's got 22 points.
Yeah,
and he just goes off down the stretch.
14 points in the fourth quarter.
It's amazing how he scores in these dramatic spurts, right? Like, it really is.
Just like, just if he wants to do it, it feels like he can't be stopped, man.
Yeah, I know.
Here we go.
I hate it. I mean, it's wild how he can score so quickly and just get just bunches of points.
History, the confidence he's got in his shot right now.
No, dude, he's like, this whole thing is, he's a superstar now. Like, he is every bit, like, you don't flirt with you don't score like an easy 30 every game in this league without being a star. Super.
And I was curious how he plays with Embiid. Embiid was great with him. I mean, you can't ask more from Embiid, and Maxey and him. It was fine. I'm really good. I'm in a great space with this right now.
I didn't have any thought.
We got a super chat from Futz. In Greek mythology, Cassandra was blessed with perfect foresight, but cursed in that no one would ever believe her predictions. I fear history is repeating itself with PHLY's very own Cassandra and VG.
Wow.
We're calling Greek mythology at 9:11 a.m.
Awesome.
Whew. Put us to work, Fuds.
That's awesome. Fuds, that's brilliant, man.
I didn't even know Cassandra was Greek mythology. I love our chat. We got some good listeners and viewers. Smart people out there.
You guys are fantastic and passionate.
Yeah.
I mean, and wholly passionate. I mean, did you think, I remember thinking, like, I had a weird feeling, and it's how it all started, right? Like before, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of getting the itch. Like, what happens? But I couldn't envision myself being this giddy after 4 games.
Well, no.
And I couldn't envision looking at a Tuesday game in Washington against the Wizards. Like the Wizards. The Wizards are horrible, right? Like, forget the fact there's a reason why the league is the way it is, and it's built, back-to-backs and all that stuff. But the Wizards, like, I'm thinking, ew, right? Would you be into a game against the Wizards?
No, dude.
And look, had they lost last night, it's fully understandable. Coming off a back-to-back, you beat Orlando handily.
Yeah.
But what really got me excited was the fight they showed. I was prepared. I'm watching the game, and I just got home from a viewing, and the best of the Folk family, Charlie and Folk Auto Dealerships. They're great family, beautiful family. They lost their patriarch in Charlie Folk, who is a great man, the whole thing. Anyway, I was at the viewing last night, and it was amazing. It was like blocks and blocks of people. I mean, we stood outside for hours.
It's always good when that
testimony to a great man. Anyway, I get home right at the perfect time, the end of the game. So it's like middle of the fourth quarter, and I'm like, all right, I'm expecting them to like lose, but I see their fight, and I'm like, all right. So I'm making notes for our show, and the first thing I'm thinking about is look at how they're fighting. They're giving you effort and fight down the stretch in a game in which you could easily just give up. I see it in that league all the time. They have games where you talk about scheduled losses and there's so much give up in the NBA. They didn't give up. Like they kept playing. And that's Maxey. He keeps playing. He keeps fighting. Because someone needs to do it, right? He's their best player. He's their best scorer. And he's got to take the lead to keep fighting.
Yeah, it was for me, it was like a tale of 2 games. The first half, like I said, it didn't feel like the same team we had seen before. And then it's like VJ Edgecombe didn't even take a shot his first quarter. They're giving him a little more attention, which he's going to get now. And you're thinking, all right. He hasn't played. He's been playing 38 minutes.
Plus, he got foul trouble.
Yeah. Well, that's tired legs, reaching and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right. But yeah, Maxey started hitting some shots, and Bona came on the court, and everything just changed.
But you get my point about Maxey.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing goes.
He's the motor.
Like he's the superstar.
Yeah.
Like what excites me about this whole thing is like I love VJ is awesome, right? So it's great having a young player like that. But having Maxey as a true superstar, last year he struggled when he was healthy. He was banged up. He was hurt. But when he was healthy early, they were doubling him and blitzing him, and they really disrupted him. Well, you can see how he come back. He's swole. He looks good. And I think the biggest piece is that he's ready to be that guy, that handful of players in the league that could score at will.
Yeah, and I think he's benefited mentally from the injuries of Paul George and Embiid because he was always, the young guy taking a backseat to the vets. And with them missing so much time and where they are now, it gave him.
Well, you had to grow into your role.
To be like, you
also had to grow into your role. Like you see that you see guys. He comes in after 1 year at Kentucky, right? The whole COVID draft, everything. He comes into a team where, let's face it, it was it's the teeth of the process, and quite frankly, they got extremely lucky that he was there, that he worked out the way he did. We joke about Futz, right? You had Simmons, you had Fultz, you had Okafor, you had these high picks that just frittered, that never panned out. And here you have Maxey blossoming into a superstar. And he was able to kind of, you had James Harden here, dude. You had, he comes in the middle of this, as a baby, in the middle of this process that had all this pressure on him. And now, when the dust settles, he's the man.
And you are talking about lucky. Like, how many superstars fall to like the 20s? I mean, that is as lucky as you can get, man.
Yeah, I mean.
And I think part of why you tune in, like why you tune in last night, like, watch Max. Does Maxey's growth continue? The rookie, Embiid. Like, there's so much to tune into right now. It's like.
Well, and quite frankly, I watch myself. It's like, I look forward to watching Maxey and Edgecombe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so to me, they're a must watch. So everybody else, like the Bona, like that's fun.
No, but be
Watch,
curiosity,
right?
see how it goes.
Without a doubt, it'd be curiosity. Right? Like that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's Joe, right? So my fully expectation of Embiid is he's going to be fine. Like the one thing he could do, he could score to sleep, right? Like he can. And the minute he ramps up and hopefully is healthy enough to go and give you, 20, a strong 28 minutes.
Yeah.
And that means going down low, not just settling for, like he could shoot the ball. So I'm not saying you should never shoot the ball. So I got no problem with him up top. But I do need him to be in the mid post and the low post at times, right? So once I get that kind of well-rounded game from him, a strong 28, and I think he'll get there, he'll give me 23 a night.
So now there's a part when I watch him, I think mentally why he's staying up high, he's so slow getting back on defense right now. I don't know if that's going to change. And I think in his head, if he's down low, it's 5-on-4 the other way for a good 10 seconds, it feels like.
Well, it's not going to happen now. Right.
Like,
yeah,
I'm hoping.
I mean, you got to work into that. That's why I say,
back,
in 28 minutes, like when he's ready to go and give you a strong 28 minutes, that's when he's able to go and be on the mid block, the low block, and actually be a part. Because listen, that's also part of his greatness, right? Mm-hmm. Is that you want teams that collapse on him because he'll draw fouls.
100%.
The one thing he can do is draw fouls all day long. Mm-hmm. And you can say whatever you want. That's such a valuable thing, man. When you're able to draw fouls and get guys in it, like we saw in the Knicks series when he was getting people in foul trouble.
Yeah. And I mean, what are you going to double team? You can't triple team them like you did. They got guys who are hitting shots now.
Right.
More than just Maxey.
Right. So I don't know.
I'm curious to talk to Kyle because I watched their prediction show and they had asked if Maxey would be an all-star. And I think all three said no because the guard competition was so strong.
Really?
And here he is.
That's
now.
surprising.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I think I definitely would have disagreed and said because I don't think it's a guard competition. Like I think there's Maxey and then it's everybody else. But I've always said that.
Yeah.
Listen, I love his game.
Yeah.
Like, I just think the kid's fearless. He's just scorer, man. That floater's money. He's
dude, I love
his shot in transition is deadly.
Yes.
Like, because you give him an open look, he's going to knock down threes all day long.
The defense is a little bit of a worry. I mean, people scoring at will on them right now.
Like,
they look a little rough last night.
I mean, you're not going to be able to be good defensively until Embiid's ready because you need someone to protect the rim. And look, up front, like up top, Maxey's not a good. We've never been a good defender, but I feel like that's like the supermodel who can cook, right? Like, do I need her to cook? Would I like her to cook? All right. Do I need her to cook? No.
All right. Yeah. I'll take that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And on the other side, on the ice,
dude.
I mean, it starts early, and you're like, oh, Ersan gives up a terrible goal, and you're like, oh boy. And man, here they come. They're chippy.
They are chippy.
Overtime was great, and then there's a scrum after overtime. Zegras.
Dude, how about Zegras? Was that awesome? Dude. Was that awesome?
Like giving the guy the business advice on the ground.
Like he's on the ground and he pulls his, like rips his helmet off. Yeah. That was the greatest.
And I know ESPN's got to have the two games on, but you got a scrum like that going on with the you got to go full screen. They did the split screen. You got to give us that full screen.
Come on, give us the scrum. Crowd's going nuts.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Brink had his shootout move was like something from NHL '94. It was like a triple D.
Yeah.
The stick work was crazy.
How about it though, dude? It's fun. Like when those two teams are good,
Yeah.
And fun. It
I
just
was
makes
losing my mind last night between the two games and then the World Series.
Yeah. Yeah, Jays, baby.
World Series is good
Jays. Love it.
Vlad is just
You love
smashing.
it. I love it.
4 earned runs on Ohtani.
How nuts is that? Listen, I don't know how he plays, what was it, 18 innings. He's on base 8 times, right? And then you come around and
He's throwing 99.
and then pitch.
Yes.
I mean, so he gave up a couple runs. I can't fault him. All right, lots to get to. Let's get it started. Let's take care of a little business, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So you know who's playing championship level car deals every single day in town? Well, it's Elkins Chevrolet, right off Route 73 South in Marlton, New Jersey. It's a 3-man team: Jason, Adam, and Josh, brothers in the store daily, calling the plays and delivering wins. No fumbles, no drama, just a hometown squad with a deep bench of Chevys and prices that'll make you cheer. They call it honking good service, and trust me, it's a slam dunk. So if you're scouting for a new Chevy or a pre-owned MVP, make your next move Elkins Chevrolet. They're real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honking good service. Shop now at elkinschevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
All right.
Talk
let's
about
drive.
Mando. Yeah, because fall's here, crisp air, football, maybe a bonfire too. But if you're like most guys, you're still putting in hard work. And yeah, that means sweat. So don't let body odor sideline you. You know that feeling. It's game day. You've been working hard all week. Your lucky jersey's on it. It might be smelling a little too lucky. So let's be honest. Regular deodorant just doesn't cut it, especially after a long day. But there's a real
I got
game
news
changer.
for you. Sticky jersey.
Yes.
Try smelling football jerseys from teenagers.
Well, I mean, we'll get us some Mando.
I got to
in that
get
house.
the Mando
Yes.
to the boys.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about smelling like a hoagie. Masmo gets in the car. I was like, wow. My eyes started to water from the onion smell.
All right, so Mando's a real game changer.
Give me some Mando,
It's quality
Andrew.
sweat control, and it's not just a cover-up. It's one stick. It does two jobs: powerful odor and sweat control. It stops the odor before it even starts. No more masking it, just freshness. One swipe, you're good to go. It controls both sweat and odor for 72 hours. And after just 12 hours, underarm sweat reduced by 92%. This stuff really works. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick, deodorant, cream, tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and you get free shipping. There's a special offer for listeners. New customers get 20% off site-wide with the exclusive code. Use this code PHLY at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide, and free shipping. Shopmando.com. That's where you want to go. 20% off PHLY.
All right, Mando.com, PHLY, for the boys.
Yeah, so support our
They're
show.
young Mandos.
Yeah, they're young Mandos. So support our show. Tell them we sent you. They got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat, stains, and hello to long-lasting freshness.
All right. Let's have some fun. And brought to us by the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. He's our man, the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain, Feinberg.
Dude, how much fun are the Sixers?
Anthony, hand on the Bible. Hand on the Bible. My opening was going to be to you. You know, last year we talked about was like the year from purgatory. Like that was as bad gets. They're the most exciting team in the league now. So, to me, again, it lets you know things can change. Always a good lesson in life. You never know. Because I got to be honest with you, watching that team last year, I stopped watching. I couldn't take. I physically it was torture. But now it's just amazing. You get one draft pick, and everything just can potentially change like that.
Yeah, one draft pick next to a superstar. Like we've seen the transformation of Tyrese Maxey into a legitimate superstar. You don't score with 30 that easily, right? Now flirting with 4, like he scored a 40 11 times in his career now after the other night, right? when you score that kind of those kinds of numbers in bunches, that's superstar level.
Yeah, Anthony, I'm with you 100%. Again, he seems like just the nicest. Yeah, look, I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's just amazing to me how the team. No, again, it's funny. I made my big bet. I bet the Raptors. I don't know that's going to win 45-1 to win the division, but I did take the Sixers at 6.5 to 1 because I thought somehow Embiid's healthy. Maybe it pans out, but I don't know. Embiid doesn't look like he's going to be what I hoped. But just
well, it's early though. I mean, like my hope is that at some point, by February, March, he's playing 28 strong minutes a night.
You know what's crazy, Anthony? If you think about it, with their guards when they get McCain back, they have to be the best in the NBA by a wide margin, right? I can't.
Yeah, I for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out what the rotation is going to be like. Right?
They almost have too many good players. I know that's not, but it's a shame. What's crazy is
and none of them are true lead guards, which is odd.
It's amazing. I think we think the same. But what's crazy is I'm thinking about it. It's just so many times in life you're just like, God, I wish it was this and this. If they had the Embiid that we'd seen every year before he got hurt, I think this team would be every bit as good as OKC. I really believe. You call me nuts. You can laugh at me. If we had the MVP Embiid, I'm talking
why would I think you're nuts? I would agree with you. Yeah, I mean, because then all of a sudden you have a legitimate, low block, rim protector, force that could score and draw fouls at will, right? Because SGA, his greatest gift is he just get to the line anytime he wants, right? He just
100%.
with Embiid could do that. And then you have Maxey play the way he does with the supporting cast of Edgecombe and Grimes off the bench and Oubre.
Grimes is I really like Grimes, by the way. It's interesting. I don't understand. Anthony, you probably know maybe. I don't know exactly what happened with that contract where they kind of bullied him. All right, just take it, and then you'll leave after this year. But to me, I don't think he's some fluke fly-by-night player. I think he could play on a championship team and be a good player in a championship team, and that's high compliment.
As off the bench, right? You're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not an insult. That's not an insult.
No, it's a role. I agree with that. I think he's a good role player.
Yeah, that's not an insult. And so, to me, if this becomes a 50+ win team, and he's your sixth man, 7th man off the bench. To me, that's okay, wow, okay, now we're at least when he comes in, especially if there's an injury, I suppose Edgecombe is out or Maxey's out. He's the kind of guy I showed last year. He can score 30. How many guys could just score 30 off the bench, right? In that kind of spot? There's probably a list of maybe 3 people, and he's on that list. So I don't, again, I wish they were able to keep him. I don't know what's going to happen. And of course, you're right. You mentioned it, with McCain, no one's even talking about him. He was, before he got hurt, he was playing phenomenal. I'm curious what's going to happen when everyone's healthy, Anthony. Like you said, it's almost I don't know if would you try to make a trade if you're Daryl Morey, or is it too hard to do that? Because everyone's the same kind of size and position. It's just such a strange mix.
I'm with you. At some point, I don't know how to figure it out, because
I don't know how to figure it out.
You got Maxey, Edgecombe. When Paul George comes back, McCain comes back, and you got Grimes, right? So, and I put George in that spot because he's really a 2-3, right? So he fits into that spot. So you got all those guys that deserve minutes, that are going to eat up minutes. And meanwhile, Maxey has to play 40 minutes. I need Maxey on the floor, because Maxey's the one that's going to generate true offense.
Yeah, Maxey's the guy. But let me ask you a question, Anthony. I'm guessing the answer is no. But if the Sixers said to the other 31 teams, you take Paul George and a future first-round pick down the road, you just have him for free, would they be able to get rid of that or no?
I guess. I mean, if you're going to sweeten it, I mean, I don't want to do that. I mean, I think,
what are you taking back? You got to match salary.
Yeah, I got to.
I would think
he's talking about slop.
Is he really going to help the team? Do you think he still can help the team?
I think he can still help. I think he's going to come back and he's going to be reinvigorated. I hope you're right, man. I think he's going to see these kids. I think he comes back, and I think. Listen, one thing, he's a good ball player, right? And what helps him in this situation is he doesn't need the ball to be effective. Like, he does a lot of little things. Like, he's a good defender, right? He'll rebound. He could do a lot of things. Like, he can help facilitate the offense. He's got a veteran presence. Like, he's a good ball player. Like, we forget because when he's interested, and I do think he'll be interested. Like, I think he's valuable.
Okay, I hope you're right. I just wondering just how it's all going to work minutes wise with everyone. I'm just very intrigued.
I mean,
how it's all
if you're going to look to move someone, my guess is you look to move McCain.
Really? Why?
He's the only one. You can't move Edgecombe.
Who else are you going to move?
He's what, a 19-year-old kid who's looked amazing. I don't know. I guess, well, you know what? I guess you should be able to get, although he's been injured now seriously twice. So maybe that's potentially something.
Well, no, but what? Who else would you move? You're not moving Edgecombe. You can't move George. You can't move. You actually can't move Grimes because of the contract.
Right, the contract. Yeah.
Like, who are you moving?
I guess you're right.
And I look at McCain. I go, I mean, he's a nice ball player, but.
It's just duplication.
He's an undersized too.
Yeah, I mean, Nurse addressed it yesterday. His quote was, they can't wait to get him back, inserting him with VJ, Maxey, Quentin. That's the plan, sort of the plan going into the season. They could do a variety of things, gives us a chance to have more depth, play some shorter stints so the energy stays high and all those things. So,
I mean, I know they're going to try to do that, but the problem is guys need minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in theory, it's great that I'll have everybody fresh. But you need guys to be get in the rhythm and the flow of the game. And you can't have a hockey line change.
Yeah, no. Listen, I get what you're saying, Anthony. I think it's a very interesting thing how it's going to work.
But again, you could play George at the 4 and, I
mean, maybe with a Bona or Drummond.
Right. Like, you're gonna try to do that a lot and just out-quick everybody.
But you know what's great, though, guys? I'm forgetting the wins and losses, which is great that they're started off 4-0, but just it's every day is sunny again. It's sunny in Philadelphia. And now it's sunny in Philadelphia again. And last year was just dreary and depressing. And look, again, I'll say again, it just takes something like, to me, I feel like the whole thing happened with Edgecombe. I think I asked you this the other day, Anthony. If I did, I apologize. I'm asking it twice. I don't think Dallas would do it, but if Dallas calls you up, we'll give you Cooper Flag for Edgecombe. Do you say yes or no after 3 games?
I mean, it's Cooper Flag. I mean,
you'd say yes.
I think I would. I don't know. I mean, it's like these questions are so like I haven't watched Cooper Flag, right. Like, so I saw some highlights. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess, but I have to see him. Like, I haven't really watched him, dissected him, what he looks like after 3 games. Like, that's why I hate those questions because it's so out of reality that,
No, you're right. That's fair.
I mean, just because the role he plays is a little better fitted for the Sixers.
Right. But, I gotta see what I don't know what he looks like,
But that was an exciting game last night. I thought they were done. I thought they were going to lose. They were losing the entire way. They battled back. It was great to see. Again, they've now become a team that I just enjoy watching again, as opposed to before. Dude. I just couldn't. I physically couldn't watch. I've watched every game now. I've enjoyed it, and it's been fun again. And it's just, again, for everyone. I mean, that to me is as important as obviously as anything. Just having an excitement again. It's been a long time.
I got home. I tell you, I got home from this viewing, and the first thing I did was just put the game on. Man, I was just like, oh, this is awesome. I yelled at the Massimo, come down, why watch this? They're gonna go to OT. Moss, get down. Like, It was just fun.
It was great. Did you watch anything? I need to speak. Did you stay up for the Dodgers game 2 nights ago?
I fell asleep, and then I fell asleep. I guess it was the 14th, 15th inning, and then I woke up. It was over, and I looked on my phone. Your kids are younger than me, Anthony, so this probably never happened to you. I get a call at like 2:20 in the morning from my son. And I'm like, I'm so dead. Then he calls again at 2:21. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what happened? Is everything okay? Like, cause like I'm dead sleeping. Like dead. He's like, you watching this game, Dad? I'm like, geez, Louise, Carson. I'm like, and then, but then of course he calls me. So then I stay up to 3 a.m. watching the game. It was unbelievable. Dude,
I mean, it was.
Dude, can I just tell you that is such a gift? That the fact that Carson would call you at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, Dad, are you watching that game? Is the greatest gift in the world. You should thank God that, it's funny. My buddy Vinny said this to the other day to my other friend. He goes, when your adult children want to talk to you and want to spend time with you, it shows you did something right. You're right. You're right. I mean, you're 100% right. Yeah. So cherish that. No, I did. Listen, after I woke up, I did. But I watched. That was just such amazing theater, that game. But what's funny thing, and VJ, like when you watch the Toronto play, it just lets you know if you have a line. Now I know you guys have talked about so much the construction of the Phillies. When you have a lineup that doesn't strike out and makes contact, it's amazing. Even you go against this Dodgers pitching staff, who's great, not good, but it's amazing when you don't strike out ever, what it does to the other team. It's fascinating to watch because what was the line yesterday for what were the Dodgers yesterday? How big a favorite? Oh God, it was they were like over a 2-1 favorite. I get it was they were like about 2-1 favorite. Yeah. Again, it's funny. Like Toronto in all these games is going to be crazy undervalued because. Again, I'm not going to say they're as good as the Dodgers. That would be disingenuous. But I am going to say there is a 0% chance, and I mean 0, that the Dodgers win at the number. Like, for example, tonight, they're -2. I'm around the bet park site. They're -235. I always love doing this. I apologize if it bores you, but I can't help it. 235. So that means if the Dodgers won 114, if they won 114 games and went 114-48 and the best record in the history of baseball, you'd break even on this bet. And they went 114-48 against Toronto, which obviously they're not even going to come close to doing that. But that just lets you know, when you do the math, how insane that line is. How they are just discounting Toronto at such disrespectful levels. It's embarrassing because Toronto's a great team. And I don't care that they don't have the same names as the Dodgers have, but they certainly are going to, they're going to battle. It's going to be a tough game. I'm with you, but you look at their lineup, and their lineup has a great mix of contact and power, right? Well, right. Yeah, like you got, it's a shame they lose Springer, but you would have Springer, and then you got Vlad, Bichette. I'm a Barger fan. I love Kirk, right? Varsho is legit, and Varsho hits lefties. Yeah, Varsho is like a tough power hitter. They have a nice, Anthony, you said that's a nice combination of being able to hit home runs. Again, but to me, it's the whole thing is when you face these guys, when the Phillies are striking out against Snell 46 times, I'm not blaming them. I think he's incredible. But you watch in game 1, he strikes out 5 guys against Toronto. 5, right? And it's so much when you put the ball in play and you can't strike. It's like think of it like it's like when Bill James back in the day started talking about sabermetrics. When you put the ball in play, you can get on in an error, you can get on in a hit. But when you strike out, nothing good can happen, right? But when you put the ball in play, you never know what's going to happen. And that's why this Toronto team, to me, has been undervalued all year. They put the ball in play better than any team in baseball. Yeah, they do.
Well, they had talked about at the end of the season, they wanted to change their batting coach. They brought in the David Popkins dude, and they went from like 24th in runs scored to 3rd in runs scored.
It's amazing.
He's just all about, he says he's just all about creativity, finding creative ways to generate runs.
Yeah, but it goes down to approach, right? Yeah. Like their approach isn't swinging from their heels. I was watching Kirk Friday night, all right? Friday night, Alejandro Kirk.
He's such a good batter.
He is. So
He's tough.
he's down 0-2 in the count, right? They're trying to drive up the pitch count. I forget who was on the mound, but he's down 0-2. He gets a ball. He then wastes a pitch, a good pitch that he wastes.
Yeah.
He's able to get having the ability to back control to waste pitches is so important. So he wastes a pitch, then it's ball 2. Then he fouls the pitch off. Then he fouls another pitch off. Then it's a waste foul, right? Where he just gets his bat on it.
Yeah.
Then it's ball 3. And then he lines a ball into the corner on a full count. And he's looking to get 2 out of it, but realizes he's not going to make it and stays at first. And they wind up getting a home run to tie the game right after that at 2-2. That was off the snow.
Yeah. He's a guy to me, Anthony. I think if he played in Philadelphia, he'd be like such a fan favorite.
Folk hero.
Yeah, he's Chooch. He's Chooch with a better hitter.
More pop.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's interesting. A buddy of mine.
With 2 strikes, his batting average is 346. That's insane.
Wow.
It's insane.
Because he's short in his swing.
Yeah.
That's you see the Phillies never adjust.
Mm-hmm.
They never adjust.
No,
because they're still about the analytics. That analytics, we need to hit home runs.
You talk about the approach. But Anthony, I got to tell you something. It just surprised me, just on the side note. A buddy of mine went to games. He's going to all 4 games in the World Series. And I go, which atmosphere was better? I would have guessed Toronto. He said Dodgers' atmosphere was 1,000 times better. The stadium. He goes, not even close. Just surprised me. I don't know what you guys would have guessed. I would have guessed Toronto because they haven't been there in forever. But he said not even close. LA was a far better atmosphere.
But it's weird. It sounds almost like there's some Blue Jays fans there. When the Blue Jays have a big run or a hit or something, it sounds kind of loud in there.
I didn't ask him that. I was just surprised. I would have thought Toronto was just nuts and like that was the better thing. He's like, nah. He's like Dodgers. It was actually a good atmosphere. But I'm rooting for Toronto.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone outside of LA has to be.
Yeah, you got to be rooting for Toronto. Everybody's there. They're fun, man. They're a great story. Brain, great stuff, buddy. Anything you got for us today?
Yeah, I'll give you. It's funny, and I did bet, and I lost. Anthony, good call by you. In the over in game 3, I took Glass under 4.5 hits. He gave up 5, and even pitched. What I like about the bet, he pitched horribly, and he gave up 5. And that was his worst he could be. I'm doing the same thing again here today. I took Snell under 4.5 hits. I think he's done it a couple times all year. He's given up more than 4.5 hits. I just don't think he's gonna give up 5 hits. And in basketball, Jalen Green is coming back for the Suns. He hasn't played yet. They got him in that big Durant deal. He averaged 24 a game on Houston. He's now going to a Phoenix team that has Devin Booker, me, and you as our best players. Yeah. I bet over 14.5. I think that's woefully underpriced.
Yeah, good stuff. Like it. Thanks, Brain.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, buddy. Here he is, the Brain, brought to us by Parks Casino, the Bet Parks Sportsbook online casino app. All right, now, big deal. Oh, yeah.
Big deal.
Brought to us by Cherry Hill Jeep. Let us bring in from the PHLY Sixers show, which is Holman, Kyle Neubeck. Dude, we don't have an intro for Kyle?
No, we got to work on something for Kyle.
I want an intro for Kyle.
Kyle's like, what's your wheelhouse, Kyle? Like indie rock 90s?
Oh, no. I mean, I always have the conversation with people. What would your walk-up song be if you're playing baseball? Mine is Money, Power, and Respect by the Locks. So that would – I don't know if we can get the DMCA clearance on that one, but that's kind of my vibe.
Yeah,
we'll
man.
figure something out.
I need Kyle, man. I need my boy. Dude, if I would have told you that I would be this excited, like if I tell my future self just 2 weeks ago that, and I was like looking forward to it because you and I talked about it. Because I was like, I think I'm back, right? This is before the season. But if I would have told you, I would be that excited for a Tuesday night Wizards game second half of a back-to-back. I can't explain this. This is so much fun.
I mean, Anthony, you guys could probably see how tired I am after 3 games and 4 nights and working late and whatnot. And even still, yesterday I wake up and I'm like, man, it's a back-to-back and I can't wait to see these guys play tonight, right? Like the excitement that is building for this team is hard to fathom as it's happening, because it's not just that they're winning. It's that it's a fun brand of basketball to watch. And these guys, even when games have felt out of reach and they could have just said, hey, we're 3-0. We're on the second half of back-to-back. We're down 19 in the third quarter. Pack it in. And they just refused to go down, right? And it took all of them. They got contributions up and down the roster to pull that out. They are building something special here, and it has been really fun to watch to start the year.
So the thing that I was excited about was exactly that they didn't, like, I'm making my notes. I got home from a viewing. I put the game on. It's like the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter before the overtime. And I'm making notes. And I'm going, you know what? My lead was going to be they didn't lay down, that they showed fight. Because I'm still thinking, you're still down 9 or whatever, 7. It was still a tough climb, right? The fact that they got all they want, I think it's a testimony. You said all of them got, and you're right, but this is Maxey. Maxey, what we're witnessing now is his ascent into the elite of the NBA.
Well, and so I said it on the post-game show last night, Anthony. I think the thing that has been so impressive about this start and was so impressive about that game is that he's burning the Nets down from 3, right? He hits 3 threes in, I think, like 4 minutes to open this game. And you're like, oh, this guy's going to have just a monster performance. But then the jumper basically was absent the rest of the game. I think he missed all 6 of his threes the rest of the game. Didn't really even take them late.
No, he
right?
was sitting at 22. There was like middle of the fourth quarter. He had 22.
Yeah. And instead, what he did was he put himself on the free throw line, right? He willed himself there. And the thing that I think I've been so proud of him for is, what the fan base complained and what a lot of people thought last year was, oh, this kid just can't get a call, right? Well, he's making the officials blow the whistle, right? He's putting his shoulders into people. He's initiating contact. He's, frankly, exaggerating contact a little bit, throwing the arms up on these drives. He is putting the refs in a position where they have to call something. They have to do something with this guy. What did he go to the line? 16 times last night? A couple of those are end of game, getting fouled, but that's at least a solid double-digit free throw night, and that's helping sustain the offense when you go through these swoons as a jump shooter. Here's the even better part, Anthony. I know the 39 points of the headline. He had 10 assists, and he had an assist on the biggest shot of the game from Quentin Grimes to get them to overtime, where he has the trust in his teammate, places it in the shooting pocket. Like, I just can't say enough about what Tyrese Maxey is doing right now. And after throwing down the gauntlet on media day in the offseason saying, we're not having another year like last year, we need to set a standard every night, he has gone out there and walked the walk. So, I mean, just nothing you could say that would be an exaggeration about Tyrese Maxey right now. He's been unbelievable.
Well, and he comes back and he's stronger, right? He's swole. He looks great. Like, so that strength, right? You could see it. It's impacted how he looks the second night of a back-to-back. He's playing tons of minutes. He always can, but hit the level of, you talk about dipping your shoulder, you talk about going to the line. He's strong, man. He's strong with the ball. That's the thing that Edgecombe really, I love about him, is that I like guys that just are strong with the basketball, man. And the Maxey thing, I think I know you guys were talking about all-stars. Like, I think he's a true, he's now in that pantheon of being a superstar in the league, well, among the elites.
Oh, I mean, forget about all-star right now.
Right.
This is all NBA, MVP level stuff. Now,
right.
Are we expecting Tyrese Maxey to average 37, 38 points a game? definitely not, right? That would be just an insane bar to clear.
Yeah, but he could average 28 easily.
Right. Right. So if he sustains anything near this level of play, like there's just no telling on how high the ceiling is for him. I will say though, like as his legs went and he was not able to step into his threes with as much confidence and touch, right? It showed you the depth this team has and that this team needs. And credit to Quentin Grimes, because Quentin Grimes was basically the only guy on that team that had real legs other than Adem Bona in the fourth quarter of that game. He just kept coming. He's making defensive plays. He had a tip-in basket in transition, right? And now this is 2 different games out of 4 that he's hit a monster 3 at the end of regulation to send this game either to an immediate win or to overtime last night. It sort of made me think of Indiana last year, right? Where you had Halliburton as the catalyst for everything. You have Halliburton as the feature player, the big star, all that. But part of their draw, their strength was you're just getting hit all 48 minutes, right? Halliburton goes to the bench and, oh God, it's TJ McConnell is playing full court press for the next 10 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever it might be. And Nembhard's giving you something. Aaron Nesmith is hitting threes. It has felt a little bit like that already. And then remember, Jared McCain is coming back. Paul George is coming back. They're going to get more shooting. They're going to get bigger. This team, I don't want to go too far yet, Anthony, but they had the ingredients for a year that maybe nobody was predicting coming into it.
And
wow!
It's kind
Let that sink in. Wait, let that sink in. Repeat it and get rid of that light.
Listen, Anthony,
it's the word of God coming through him.
Having power issues here, so you just got to deal with other. You want me to sit in the dark? Because that's the only way.
Yeah.
I don't know about all
That's
that.
better.
Okay. So, yeah, listen, Anthony. If they sustain this, which I don't think they're going to sustain the undefeated level of play, obviously, they got a lot of stuff. They got 3 guards right now who are playing really well. They're bringing in a 4th one that probably would have won Rookie of the Year if he stayed healthy. Joel in a game where he had his issues, but he scored 25 points in 23 minutes. You got Paul George coming back. Kelly Oubre's playing his tail off. Adem Bona has 5 blocks in 18 minutes. And we said that he got the game ball for me, right? Adem Bona last night, that 1 block on CJ McCollum at the end of regulation, they showed the freeze frame and the slow motion, and he gets to it. It's like right next to the glass. And like, there's no way. He's not even close to the ball. There's no way this isn't a goaltend. And then his hand just flies in and makes the play. His athleticism and competitiveness is infectious too. Just so many guys to highlight on this team. They are a lot of fun.
So, all right, let's talk about Embiid for a second, okay? How long, how long do you think it might take, and is it possible? I mean, it's kind of an open-ended question, but the goal for Embiid is, to me, 28 terrific minutes, right? Where I can count on him to go in the mid-block, right? Mid-post, draw some fouls like he used to. I'm not expecting, crazy numbers, 12, 13 boards. But I need him to draw some fouls. I need him playing 28 solid minutes, being a bit of a rim protector. Not going to be like he was, but I need the 28 minutes where it's a little bit more well-rounded. I'm expecting this for another, 8 weeks, right? But slowly, can we get to that 28-minute? And that would be great, because with this team, that would help you. That makes you win.
Well, this is his 3rd game, right? And last night, I think he played 23 after they had said he's at a 20-minute limit. So I think as far as the minutes played, he can get to that 28-30 range within the next couple of weeks, probably, depending on how conservative or how aggressive they want to be. To me, the $1 million question, Anthony, is how much of this is just going to be him trying to save his legs a little bit, and how is that going to impact the team, right? Because offensively, he's already back in the bag, right? Last night, he's hitting threes, he's hitting mid ranges, he gets Marvin Bagley on a cross match, and he's just putting him in the stanchion and hitting a little jump hook, right? Like he's drawing free throws. I thought he ran pretty well in transition too. The one bang bang play where Washington had a successful challenge in the first half. That was Joe getting down the floor and trying to score. Now the other end, he's basically just not jumping, which is a problem because he's the rim protector. He's the last line of defense. And I'm sure there's some form of instruction from the training staff and honestly just learned experience from Joel that when you're jumping high, you're trying to make every single play all game, that's going to come with some wear and tear. That's going to come with some pain. But the biggest impact he can have on this team is the defensive end. They have a bunch of guys now who can score. They have a bunch of guys who can play, make, create for others, get out on the break, make sure this team gets buckets. There are not many guys on this team who can change the defense with high-level play like Joel Embiid can. So I'm hoping that some of this is just you're easing your way into the season. Eventually, he's going to be more of the Joel Embiid we know at the rim because he's moving okay on the other end of the floor, which suggests he's got the physicality in him. And there's even a photo that went around after the game of him jumping real high to chest bump Adem Bona after Bona was having his moment at the end of the game. But I don't know. It's hard to tell, right? Because if he is trying to save himself a little bit, this could be a full season thing. It could just be a thing where Joel says, I'm trying to save some of my bullets for the playoffs and put my body in a position where I'll be 100% by the time we get to mid-April.
So, yeah, and when I say 28 minutes, it's not the minutes, the number of minutes, it's the quality of minutes. Like what I want out of him is 28, just not great minutes, physical, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm expecting that at some point, in the last third of the season.
Yeah, I don't think we're that far away from it because he's in good physical shape. I think his conditioning has looked pretty good. I know he's only playing 20, 23 minutes right now, but it's not as though he's playing this early shift. He's looking good, and then by the third quarter, he just looks like he's about to fall over, right? I think he looks like a guy who is prepared and capable of playing deeper into the game, and they're just treating it like you got to use kid gloves on him a little bit. So we'll see, but he wouldn't be the first star who is trying to figure out if I can play 80% during the regular season and we get wins and I put up numbers and then I save that extra 20% for when it matters. Maybe that's what it takes for this guy to finally be upright and productive in the playoffs.
Kyle, it's interesting because you think he looked okay in transition D. I thought he looked slow getting back on.
Well,
D.
definitely not in defense. No,
okay,
and the whole team transition defense has been bad. Their defense as a unit has been awful,
abysmal.
So
excellent.
that's it's one thing that's going to have to change. They've been so good offensively that they've been able to get away with it. And to their credit, there have been moments in these fourth quarters where they're battening down the hatches and they're figuring it out. But they let Washington just go absolutely crazy last night. And even if you say, hey, in the third quarter, some of that was just nonsense shot making, which I tend to agree with, they let them build into that, right? They had all the momentum going into that quarter because the Sixers had given them red carpets on the way to the rim and conceded some open shots. And so we'll see. But the whole team has got to be better, both in half court and transition defense.
Well, you're saying they got a lot of pieces, I think you said. I really like they had the rotation out there with Wofford, Walker, and Embiid, and it's like a lunch pail kind of grinded out, tough, slow, physical group, too. And that was a total nice change of pace from what we were seeing earlier.
Yeah, and look, this is more deep in the weeds stuff, but I think the fact that Trendon Watford went from not playing at all to here's the ball, you're running the offense for almost all of his minutes, that speaks to Nick Nurse and how he values him and the priority he was getting him right at the start of the offseason. had a turnover on his first possession, but then really settled into that game. I also like that Trey Johnson, who was one of the top rookies in this incoming class, right? He's on Watford on a couple of post possessions last night on cross matches. And to his credit, and I believe it was VJ Edgecombe on at least one of these, they said, we're getting you the ball and you're putting this guy through the rim, right? Scored on a couple of post possessions, made it look so simple. So they have a bunch of guys with multifaceted talents. I just can't believe how much production they're getting from all their depth guys already.
It was like 2 nights ago we saw VJ with the step back. Last night at the 3, nice pump fake, sidestep dribble, buried the 3, got the foul. I mean, I didn't see that. The off the dribble stuff is crazy.
When we can start the season and VJ Edgecombe's worst game is a 14-point outing where he has 6 assists and shoots 4 of 8 from the 3-point line, that is a beautiful place to be if you're the Sixers and if you're a Sixers fan, because he has not looked like a rookie overall. This is the first time he will have ever played a back-to-back and a 3 and 4 nights. I think you could tell at times with his defense, because he is a great defender, that he just didn't have the legs and the energy. But it's still good for him to go through that because he still played 40 minutes last night. He had foul trouble and is trying to figure out the flow of the game as Nurse is pulling him from time to time, and still manages to play nearly 40 minutes, has his moments, multiple 4-point plays as a shooter. So way ahead of schedule. Clearly, to me, the rookie of the year so far, admittedly 4 games in. We'll see how it develops. Just a tremendous story for this franchise.
So when McCain and PG are back, now obviously they're going to try to run, PG at the 4 at times, and how do you carve up, because Maxey still has to play his 40. Like, you need Maxey like that. Like, to me, he has his minutes, and then it's everybody else that you're going to look to kind of like figure out where they're going to slot in.
I don't think anyone's going to be taking a huge hit, right? You can't bench Grimes, or you can't take away too much from Grimes because he's been a late shot maker. He's one of your few two-way players. Oubre has been playing really well. You're not going to take minutes, at least that many, from him. We're going to have to see. I think Maxey might fall more toward the 35-ish minutes if McCain comes in and plays well. Paul is going to take from the bucket of Dominic Barlow, Jabari Walker, Watford, although Watford didn't play a whole heck of a lot last night, just coming back from that injury. It's a real competition for minutes for everybody, and hopefully that's going to make these guys fresher when they're in the game. It's going to allow them later in the season to be deeper and more productive than a lot of these other teams that they're up against. It's a good problem to have, but it is in some ways a problem because you have this team that's rolling and you have to introduce 2 pretty significant pieces into the rotation.
Yeah. I don't want to give up from Maxey's minutes. Like, I need him. Like, I need him to be the guy. I want him as the guy. Like, he's it.
I think if he plays 35 minutes, he's still the guy. So I don't think it'll hurt if you scale him down a little bit, if you scale VJ down a little bit, because those guys, their workload so far has been outrageous. And I know this is kind of Nick Nurse's thing. You play your best guys. He's very like Tom Thibodeau in that way. I'm going to play my best guys as many minutes as is human.
I agree with that, by the way. Yeah.
And there's definitely something to that, but you don't want to end up in a situation where these guys are burnt out and have dead legs in the middle of the season. Especially, I think in VJ's case, I would be most worried about that, going through 82 games for the first time.
Yeah.
So maybe you take from him just a tad, but then you're like, man, you're going to stop VJ from playing more minutes right now with the way he's playing. So it's a good problem to have for Nick Nurse. I'll say that.
Yeah. Kyle, great stuff, buddy. Just so much fun. What's your schedule now this week?
So we have a 3 p.m. Our only 3 p.m. show of the week is tomorrow on Thursday at 3 p.m. So we'll be back for that. Then the Sixers have their first NBA Cup game on Friday night, Anthony. So we get our first glimpse of that ridiculous blue court that they'll be playing on. I believe the Sixers also play Sunday, if I'm remembering correctly. So 2 more pregame and postgame shows from our crew. Hopefully they keep it rolling. Give us something fun to talk about.
Let's do it, baby. A lot of fun, man. We got the best coverage in the city. All right? Kyle, Derek, Devon. Great stuff, buddy. Thank you.
See you guys.
Here he is, Kyle Neubeck, all PHLY Sixers. Coming up, can't wait to talk to Mike. Can't wait to talk to my boy, SIelski.
Yeah.
I know.
He better be all Sixered up.
Oh, I know
he better be like Sixer hat on.
Here's the thing. He's not going to wear a hat. He's not you.
The other day, I mean, you know, he's like, oh, now's the perfect time to trade. Like VJ or whatever. He's just always poking.
No,
always poking.
He's thought-provoking, not poking.
His articles are thought-provoking. His tweets are a little troll-provoking.
But he's not he's my. I love Mike. I'll go to war with Mike any day of the week. Here we go. Let's take care of some business. Let's talk about the Park Sportsbook online casino app. We got football, we got baseball, we got the sports equinox going on with hockey and hoops. It's all here.
We cashed last night with Kennesaw State -10. They won by 13.
Look at that.
So,
VG, the trash man.
Yeah, on the trash man's bag. Looking at Middle Tennessee tonight if you need some football action. Getting 5.5 against Jacksonville State.
Middle Tennessee? Mm-hmm. All right. There you go.
Where I'm leaning.
What's tomorrow night? Ravens, Dolphins is your Thursday night game.
That is Dolphins +8.
Oh, my God. Baltimore's laying 8 on the road?
Yes. Lamar's not playing, is he?
I mean.
Oh, man.
I don't think Lamar's playing.
How do you have an 8-point? How are you an 8-point favorite?
They're horrid.
I didn't see any report about, but that's a line if Lamar plays.
Yeah, that feels. That's a nice tease city
on the road.
That tease the Dolphins to +14 and maybe over down to 44.
That tells me he's playing at that line.
Is he?
I haven't read it.
I just remember from last week they said he wasn't ready.
Well, last week he wasn't ready, but I'm not sure. I mean, the way that what's he listed at? I don't see him on the report.
I guess he's good to go.
I don't see him on the report. I mean, that's
Lamar Jackson returns from hamstring injury.
Yeah, I mean that's a Lamar line.
I was just saying because the Dolphins are
but they're not that bad. At their home, short week, they stink. But you know, all right, this will be a fun football week because it's the bye. We're sitting at 6-2.
I love
you
it.
could just watch everybody else.
Red zone all day long. It's the best.
You know,
no stress, just betting, fantasy, and football.
You got let's see, the 4:25 game, Kansas City Buffalo.
Oh,
that's a great game.
Great one, yeah.
Then
Bill's
you got
getting
Washington,
2.
Seattle Sunday night. Arizona, Dallas Monday night. We see Washington on Sunday night and Dallas on Monday night.
That's a thin line. Cowboys -2.5. That's screaming cards.
yeah.
It is.
That's a thin line at home.
At home? Yeah.
What do you want to see what the fighting Hardballs are? Hardball and H&H Club -10 versus the Titans.
Hardball. You just don't stop.
Colts only -3 against Pittsburgh. That might be a Steeler line.
Colts are winning that game.
Yeah.
Steeler line.
Until they lose, they're winning every game.
You know what's nuts? How about, Saturday is Ohio State, Penn State.
Ooh.
What is the line on that?
Ohio State's 20.5.
What?
Wow.
No. Oh, man.
20 and
I'm
a half.
sorry
Oh,
for all the
my
Dip
gosh.
fans in the
Is
city
that,
area.
could you imagine?
Wow.
You went from being a national championship contender, some would even say favorite,
They were number 2.
to being a 20.5-point underdog.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's ugly.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is ugly.
Anyway, all your football, baseball, basketball, hockey, right there on the Park Sportsbook casino app, Bet Parks. I have all the hot slots, casino games, everything right there at your fingertips. New customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. BetParks.com for all the details. gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now let's talk about Xfinity. There's nothing better than I love the multi-view. It's the greatest thing in the world, the multi-view. Because you just sit back and you just got games like you're just going, all right. And your eyes dart from one to the other, to the other, to the other. And it's so good. It just says, I got stats on one side. It's the ultimate way to watch sports. I'm telling you, if you're a big fan, don't be fan-fished. Go get Xfinity, the ultimate sports destination. Listen, you got Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. It's so clear, it feels like you're in the arena. It really does. Sometimes if you want 3-4 games going on at once, it's the best. You get real-time notifications right on your television. The best seat in the house every time is right in your living room. You can't beat it. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more, Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Now, joining us on the Xfinity mobile call-in line, my man, Mike SIelski. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Ant. I love how you introduce me. It almost feels like you have to kind of reassure everybody that no, Mike's my guy. Like, we want him on this show because VG comes in with so much hate for my tweets.
That's not hate. It's appreciation of what you do. You're very good at what you do. That's all. And
No,
I love you. I want him on the show.
I don't care what anybody says. Like,
how am I mischaracterizing this? If I were the Sixers, I'd trade Maxey and VJ. Their value will never be higher. My column.
There's no column. It's a total joke. That's the point.
I get the joke, but you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're too smart.
Here's what I'm doing, and this is honestly part of why I do it. Number one, I do it to amuse myself, honestly, and I don't do it nearly as much as I used to. But I do it to point out that there are a lot of people out there offering ridiculous opinions and takes like that. And they are doing it with the veneer of legitimacy and authenticity. And they're doing it just to get people thinking that they actually believe that. And I don't like that. I feel like they're operating in bad faith. And so I do it a little bit to point out, like, look, you know, you should understand, if you're a sports news consumer, who's operating in good faith and who's giving you good reporting and who's giving you analysis and opinions that they genuinely believe in, and who's just trying to get you riled up with something ridiculous.
I can't believe in this day and age that works.
That's a great point, Ant.
I think our sports coverage is sophisticated, right? Like, you're a sports fan, you have what you've never had before, the ability to watch anything at any point, to read anything at any point. You know, the social media aspect of it, you could follow it at 24/7. Why would you be fan-fished, to borrow a line from the read?
I think because our memories are a whole lot worse than they used to be. And I think, I know you feel this way, credibility matters to you and to me. And consistency, intellectual consistency, I hate to sound like a professor, but like,
no,
that
it's
matters.
The truth. Right.
That matters, right? If I've argued that the Phillies should trade Bryce Harper at one time or another 4 years ago, then I should take into consideration that I've made that case, and that should like inform everything else I say about Bryce Harper. But nowadays, people act like they can say X in 2024, and then they can say Y in 2025, and it's like they never said X in the first place. And people don't seem to hold them to that.
I know. I don't.
And it's a time where you can pull receipts way easier than ever before.
Well, they do it. Like, you'll see it on, certain sites. I mean, you'll have bad takes, right? Like, you see
it doesn't affect anyone either, too. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess
look,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, I wouldn't choose to listen to that. Like, it's so ridiculous and nonsensical. Like, why would you even why would you? The idea of these hot takes. Like, listen, it's good to have a strong opinion, right? If you truly believe it, believe it and have your opinion, state your case, and be passionate. But you don't need to just invent stuff just to have a take. Like, have your take and, I don't understand why sports conversation can't be intelligent. I don't know.
Look, I'm with you. I think, I try to do it every Saturday on WIP with Rob Ellis.
I love it.
Great show.
It's a great show.
With you guys here every Wednesday. I try to do it in the column, but
that's why I love you. That's why I think you're space. I don't want you to feel like I need to.
Oh, no. I was joking. I mean, I was joking about that. And I know VG is.
I think you and David Murphy are my two favorite writers in town by far. It's not even close. I love it. Everything I'm doing with you is just joking around.
No, but I totally get that.
I'm passionate about you and what your work. I don't respect I don't have a ton of respect for many, many people, right? And listen, I like a lot of people. Not even
anyone in this room.
Definitely not. But I like a lot of people. But if I want to respect you as someone who's very intelligent, someone that is thoughtful and a great journalist, that's rare. And you have that. I just think I love the way you look at things. It's interesting. It's thought-provoking. I love it. So
right back at you, man. Let's do this. Enough about this. Let's talk about these teams.
All right. Well, let's do about the story. The headline is the Sixers. I can't believe I was that into a back-to-back October game against the Wizards.
Love it. This reminds me in a way of the Phillies, and here's what I mean by that. It's a good reminder. It should be a reminder to everybody in Philadelphia, and it should be a reminder to everybody in the NBA that the regular season matters. These games matter, and it is fun, finally, again, to have a basketball team in town with fresh talent that is exceeding expectations so far, that is enjoyable to watch. Everybody loves the fact that VJ Edgecombe is this terrific out of the gate, and people feel like the Sixers, I don't know if you can say they got a steal when they had the number 3 overall pick in the draft, but I think so far VJ has exceeded everybody's expectations for him. I think people love, they already did, and they love more now Tyrese Maxey. And I need to get in front of Tyrese to ask him what he did from a workout conditioning perspective. Allen Iverson used to joke about being swole. Tyrese looks like a different person, a different player out there. He is bigger, he is stronger, he is faster. It's obvious. And it's been terrific to watch him.
You talk about drawing fouls.
Exactly.
You're strong with I was talking about it earlier about how strong he is with the basketball. And it's also helping him just to give you those minutes. When you score 40, it's not in this league. With the ease that he's done it, 30 to 40, I mean, that's the elite of the elites do that.
Yeah, there was always this thing I felt like with him that, he could obviously get to the rim, but if he got bumped near the rim, it was like he was jumping into a wall made of rubber. He would just kind of go flying backwards a little bit. And now that's not happening at all. And you can just see it the way he looks. He's bigger, stronger, faster, as I said. The last thing on the Sixers to me that's really interesting is the Embiid situation. Guys, I want to see, I am so fascinated by how this progresses because, I was there in Paris last year when Joel played the way Joel did and was talking about, hey, I'm going to need Tyrese and PG to pick up more of the slack. And obviously it didn't happen last year. They all got hurt and it was bad. But the comp, I'm curious, because what you think of this, the comp to me, given who the Sixers head coach is, can Joel Embiid be Marc Gasol for this team? Can he protect the rim? Can he rebound? Can he score sometimes? But can he be that guy? That's something I'm really curious about.
That's a great comp because guess what? that's that's winning formula right there.
Right.
Because when you have the guard play that they have, if you have Marc Gasol, that's winning. That you're going to win. I love the comp.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had 25 last night, but anybody with like a basic understanding of basketball can see how differently they play when he's not on the court, how they want to run, the way the game overall is being played now. Look at the offensive numbers. I mean, it's insane that the Heat dropped 145 last night. It's nuts what's happening right now. It's like everybody's playing Paul Westhead's system or something. So I'm not sure how Joel fits with that, given his body and his age and all of that, his style of play. So that's really something to watch.
It's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, the level of no defense that's being played and just up and down the floor, it's wild. It's like an NBA All-Star game every night.
It is. It's so. I enjoy this. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Like, I'll go on YouTube and watch games from the 80s, right? And it's so weird to watch, like how 9 of the 10 players in a Celtics Lakers game are packed inside the 3-point arc, and it's just Dennis Johnson dribbling by himself at the top of the key, waiting for Larry Bird or Kevin McHale to get open. And now it's just track meet, and nobody other than Victor Wembanyama seems to be playing any defense. It's crazy.
It truly is. And what's interesting about the way it all kind of plays out, which is, I think it's AAU, right? I think
Yes.
I think it's the AAU phenomenon that's hit the league now, because the AAU, like, this would be the age where it comes into play, where it's all about mine. It's all about my numbers. And I wonder if it'll ever, like, we see the NFL right now, it's the cycle, right? All of a sudden, defense and fullbacks and running game is back. Will the NBA ever go back to the 90s when the games were played in the 90s?
Yeah, you're right. It always kind of swings. Rule changes will come about. I'm fascinated by the contrast between what you're describing, Ant, the way American players play and the way international, mostly European players play, right? Because it's much more system-oriented. Look at what Serbia was able to do against the U.S. in the Olympics last season. That's a group of guys who play together all the time, as opposed to a collection of great players coming together and trying to make it happen within a couple of weeks. So, look, whatever style ends up winning, if the Oklahoma City Thunder go back-to-back or go on some kind of run here, then that will shift things, right? Because that's the way things work in sports. The team that wins, everybody wants to be that team.
Yeah. All right. Eagles at the bye, 6-2. The offense has looked much better with Jalen under center, like we talked about. He's embraced it. You still have the specter of AJ kind of out there. He's not getting traded. I hear people talk about it all the time. There's no way in the world he gets traded. They're not trading him now. There's a huge cap hit. They want to win. They'll revisit, in the offseason and kind of look at the landscape, because obviously he's not happy.
Yeah, the whole trading AJ Brown thing is so strange to me. Like, they've gotten to 2 Super Bowls and won one, and won at least 11 games in the 3 years that the first 3 years he had been here. So, like, how much of a distraction can he possibly be? Like, I understand that he's not happy, and I understand the relationship between him and the quarterback. And it's not ideal. I totally am with you. And this, come the offseason, he may go to them and say, look, I have certain goals that I individually have, and I'm not going to achieve them here, and we need to work something out. That may very well happen. And I give AJ a little more grace for that than I think a lot of people probably do, who are just like, I want the Eagles to win, and I want everything to go, in favor of the Eagles. But they're 6-2. They're in pretty good shape, and they just had their best performance of the season. I know it was against the Giants, and the Giants aren't very good. But, all in all, you got to feel pretty good. And you're right. They're not trading A.J. Brown, not this season. It's crazy to think that.
I know. I don't even understand how that became a thing. The deadline's up. Like, first of all, there's trades, but this is not like, oh, my God, they're going to rip apart teams at the deadline. The NFL just doesn't work like that. Now, I will caution people is also to say, oh, look what they did to the Giants without AJ. Do they need AJ? The answer is yes. All right.
Yes. Oh my God, they need AJ.
Like, I think people the offense looked good and they won. Giants defensively aren't good. The back end's not good. Like, you can't look at that game and make any determinations about you don't need A.J. Brown.
That was ESPN's Get Up yesterday. Surging birds. They did it without the one player. Do they need him going forward?
Yeah, look, not to be, again, like a college professor about this, but like if the only variable between the Eagles playing not so great on offense and then playing great on offense against the Giants was that they removed A.J. Brown from the lineup, then maybe you could have that discussion. But they changed the way they ran their offense the week before. They started putting the quarterback under center, and they started changing the way they ran the ball with their running back, and the blocking schemes changed. And so like the idea that like, oh, you just take A.J. Brown out and they're better, like all it is to get you through 2 hours of vapid sports talk.
Yes. In reality, it's the first game they've won without him, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the first one they've won without him.
So after the bye, at Green Bay on a Monday night, home Lions on a Sunday night. To me, you learn everything that you need to learn about this team and where it stands those 2 games.
Yes, 100%, because not only are they challenging matchups, obviously, Green Bay's got the best record in the NFC. Detroit had the best record in the NFC last season, still, really good. But they're coming off of the bye, and they generally hit the ground running under Nick Sirianni coming off of the bye. The bye changed everything for them last season. Reevaluate the offense. Vic Fangio figures out the defense and hones everything to the point that it's exactly the way he wants it. So if they come out and beat the Packers at Lambeau on Monday Night Football, and then go beat the Lions at home on Sunday Night Football, all of a sudden the bullies are back, and the entire look of the NFC changes to me, because everybody's been talking about this conference being open all season, and part of that is because of the way the Eagles had looked in winning and getting off to the 4-0 start, and then in how they looked in the second half against the Broncos, and then throughout that Giants game. So this is how we are, right? That what happened, most recently is the thing that we think is going to happen forever. So if they come back and beat the Packers and Lions, they're the favorites again, and all of a sudden the entire look of the NFC in the postseason changes totally.
Yeah, and for the record, I'll take one. Like,
yeah,
I want you to beat one of them. Like, I don't expect you to beat them both. I think they're both going to present a different challenge. The Lions scare me more because, man, the good thing is you get them at home and not in that dome.
Right.
But they have a lot of weapons, and that's what scares me. Gibbs, to me, is the best back in the league, even better than Bijan. And that would tax, CB2. Whoever that CB2 is, they'll tax you.
Yeah, look, they're really smart. I love Dan Campbell. He can gnaw on my leg anytime. Big fan. You're right. You're 100% right, Cuz. And we also don't know what the Eagles are going to look like, right? They've got to get through the trade deadline. Is Nolan Smith back and playing at a level like he did the second half of last season? Does Vic figure something out with respect to the number 2 cornerback position? What are we seeing from younger guys? Is Jahad Campbell, is his snap count going to continue to go down? And what does it mean to have Nakobe Dean in there every single week, presuming he's in there every single week, right? Like, we didn't know that 2 weeks in necessarily to Cooper DeJean replacing Avonte Maddox. It took like 3 or 4 weeks before he was making plays on 4th down against the Bengals and jacking up Derrick Henry in Baltimore. And then it was like, whoa, okay, now we see how it's all coming together. And I think, having Nakobe back in there, being able to call all the signals and settle the defense down and take some of those responsibilities off of Zach Bond's plate, I'm not saying it's going to have the same effect that putting DeGene in the lineup did last season, but it's certainly a good thing.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Listen, the stretch goes beyond that too, because you have Green Bay, Detroit, Dallas. And look, their defense is woeful, but it's down there.
Sure.
And that offense is really good. Chicago on the Black Friday, and then at the Chargers, who are dangerous. So it's a 5-game, like, all right, let's go. And that'll be it. Heart of hearts, do you feel like they still have that bully in them?
That's a great question. Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Yeah.
Because they were doing it last season to good teams.
You're right.
And the Giants are not a good team. You know, what happened on that Thursday night 3 weeks ago, notwithstanding, they're not a good team. And they were coming off of like a once-in-a-millennium kind of loss.
Right.
Giving up 33 points, and they lose their best offensive player.
In a traumatic way.
In a traumatic way, exactly. So, I think the Eagles still have something to prove here.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is you have this opportunity now with these games against the Packers and the Lions to show that you are that team again.
Yeah, I'm with you. And then I don't know. I'm loving the little pluckiness from the Flyers, and we saw it last night. They're a fun watch, man. Like, I think they're not as dynamic as the Sixers right now because it's like, hey, like splashy and what. They're a fun watch in their own right.
Very much so. Very much so. And I keep thinking of something that Ron Hextall said back when he was the general manager. You know, he was getting a lot of grief, and trust me, he made a share of mistakes, not arguing that. But one of the things that he would keep saying over and over again is that part of the reason you have to be patient with a rebuild is that it usually takes players to hit like 24, 25, 26 years old and in the NHL for 3, 4, 5 years before you see the fullness of who they're supposed to be. And I wonder if it seems like the Flyers have a couple of guys who are on the cusp of that, whether it's Bobby Brink or Tyson Forrester. Certainly, it took Travis Sanheim a while to get to the point where he's a 1 or 1A caliber defenseman. But the goaltending has settled down. It couldn't have been any worse than it was the last 2 years, and it's certainly been better. And I think Mitchkov will come around. I don't think there's much to be worried about there in terms of him getting off to a slow start and Tocchet benching him or anything like that. He's a 20-year-old kid in America for the first time with some money. And some guys just need to play their way into shape.
Yeah, I think he's that. Yeah, I agree. What's new on the Rocky front?
Writing about Burgess Meredith right now. As a matter of fact, I'm
Women weakened legs.
Women weakened legs. And let me tell you something. I don't know how many. It's funny because everybody thinks of Burgess Meredith anybody who's alive now hears Burgess Meredith, and I think they think of three things. They think of Rocky, they think of grumpy old men, and they think of the Penguin in the Batman series.
Yes.
But this guy was married 4 times and was a great actor on Broadway and in Hollywood, and was one of the all-time Casanovas in Hollywood history. There are literally headlines everywhere throughout the 1930s, 40s, and 50s about, who is Burgess Meredith dating? Who's he married to now? It's so fun to go back and look at all of this stuff, and you would have never known that from seeing him in Rocky.
No, never. Oh my God,
Ingrid Bergman. I'm looking now at a list of people he dated. Lauren Bacall?
Wow.
Olivia de Havilland?
Mickey was a stick man.
Yeah, not just a cut man.
No.
Hey, what's the backstory of Mickey's ethnicity, right? Because you expected him to be this Irish guy, right? Like this, knock around guy, the Irish fighter coming over, and it seemed like they changed his ethnicity to Jewish in I guess it was 3 when you kind of realized what his background was. I always found that interesting.
So it's interesting. There were 2 guys, and I've already written this section of the book. There were actually 2 guys who were one guy who was thought to be the basis for the character of Mickey, His name was Mickey Grandinetti, and he was a boxing trainer in Philadelphia and up in the Scranton area. Very well known, and actually, trained some fighters who were in Philadelphia at the time and may or may not have been consulted by Stallone. But Stallone based the character of Rocky in large part on Rocky Marciano. And Marciano's trainer was a very experienced Jewish guy. And so it's likely that Stallone based the character.
Wow, that's awesome. That's cool.
On Marciano's trainer, too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
My mind is blown. I'm looking at he's had encounters with Marlena Dietrich, Hedy Lamarr. Like, you're blowing my mind right now.
It's crazy. His first wife, his first wife, they got divorced. He broke her jaw. They got into a fight and he broke her jaw.
Oh, no.
And then a couple of years after they divorced, she died by suicide.
Oh.
So, it's crazy, the backstory on Burgess Meredith, and nobody knows about it because all they hear is women weak in legs, or he's cackling like the Penguin, or he's, making potty jokes to Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau and Grumpy Old Men.
I mean, if anyone knows women weak in legs with this history and track record, it's probably Mick. Wow,
him.
Man, oh man.
It's actually him. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's the most fun thread in the book for me, and most interesting thread, because the boxing trainer, I've talked about this with you guys before, the boxing trainer who he kind of hung out with for a couple of weeks in LA to learn boxing and learn the character, was murdered not long after the movie came out, and his murder remains unsolved to this day. Yeah. So I'm going to get into that in the book as well.
That's a good story, man. That's crazy. Horrible. Yeah. Great stuff, brother, as always, man. Love it. Love hanging with you, pal.
Thanks, guys. I always enjoy it. I'll see you next week.
You're the best. Mike SIelski. Love him. Let's take care of some business. Then we got our special. Todd. Woo! No one knows movies like Todd. He knows movies and hockey better than anybody.
Yes, he does.
What he also, the genre, now he knows all genres, but he's got a special horror genre, right? He loves it. He loves it. So we tasked him to come up with the greatest Halloween movies.
Yeah.
So Halloween's coming up, and we're going to get it going. All right? Mm-hmm. So looking forward to that. Let's take care of some business first. Got a little Ace?
Yeah, we do. I'm so grateful for Ace Hardware Home Services because I can't do anything around the house. And if you're like me, if you got an outlet you said you'd fix last summer, last fall, or a faucet that's still dripping, Ace Hardware Home Services are there for you because they got people for that. Because now they're not just the helpful hardware folks, they're also the helpful home service and repair folks. So from plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling, man, they got people that'll just keep your house humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing the helpful you love from the store now to your front door, and they go from Philly all the way down to the Jersey Shore. They bring experience. They got local plumbers, techs. They handle everything, whether it's repairs and seasonal maintenance or installations to upgrades. They listen to your goals. Job's never done, so you're totally satisfied. And they'll give you free estimates on upgrades and equipment installation. And they work with your options, like options for your budget, your house. So they make sure everything's cool. And they're local. Their teams live and they're amongst us. They're our neighbors. They're our friends. And they want to make sure their neighbors and friends are comfortable in their own homes and their own communities. So if you got something that needs a fix, visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com. Get started on the next home repair project.
All right, we love it. All right, let's talk about Parks Casino Street Road Band Sale, the number one casino in Pennsylvania. Our casino of choice. I have it all. Action, entertainment at the Excite Center. Sing-along brunches.
Oh, Andrew. You got to hit that.
Come on.
Sing-along brunch?
What would you do? What would you sing?
I got no idea. I don't even know what I would sing.
You got some Merrily We Roll Along. You got some musical standards from back in the day. Yeah. He was like a traveling singer, actor guy.
I was, yeah.
Wow. Latin dance nights, country line dancing, comedy nights, happy hour in the Liberty Bell Beer Garden, plus watch parties, the Bamboo Noodle House, the Parks Grill, right? The best cover bands, hot slots, Bet Park Sportsbook, beautiful poker room, and every Sunday at noon and Monday at 6 p.m. The Bet Park Sportsbook serves up the ultimate fan experience. You ready? $1 dogs, $3 Miller Lights, $5 Peronis.
Yeah.
Wall-to-wall action on the 150-foot giant sportsbook screens. Tickets on sale now for these headliners. December 5th, straight no chaser.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
He's pretty good.
December 6th, Ken Jeong.
Funny guy.
December 12th, Get the Let Out, a Led Zeppelin tribute.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway
to heaven.
ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all show. Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now, I can't wait. Been looking forward to this all week long, where our man Todd comes into play on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. The greatest Halloween movies by our expert.
Act like a man. You can't handle the truth.
It's time for TV time.
There he is. Top of the morning to you, buddy.
Good morning, cuz. Late night at the center last night.
They're good. Listen, you know you're a great pucksman, all right? This team's playing well, and they haven't even gotten Meatskoff going yet. Like they're got something here.
Yeah, they're feeling it, man. You could just tell the whole vibe. I'll tell you, last night was so wild and so confusing because when you're sitting there at the game, I never heard or even understood the rule of a premature substitution during overtime. So everyone around me's freaking out, calling for a too many men on ice penalty. It was bizarre.
Yeah, what is that rule? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so the rule is if a penalty is called, a delayed penalty is called in overtime, and the goalie doesn't get off the ice before the extra player jumps on, it's not a penalty. It's not a too many men on ice penalty. They just whistle it dead, and it's called a premature substitution. So everyone was like freaking out, saying that Malkin jumps on super early. They should have a penalty too. We were already on the PK.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I didn't know.
And then all the fighting and the misconduct, which excluded players from it being in the shootout. I mean, I think we may have reignited the Flyers-Pens rivalry last night.
I was thinking about that. Zegras was the best too, smacking his helmet off. Oh, it was awesome.
And the mustache chirping. I mean, that guy, he's feeling it, man. He said he's having I saw the interviews and Charlie talked about it. I mean, he's just – these guys are his friends. He feels like he's played in Philly his whole career. I mean, things are clicking.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really is.
Dude, that was amazing. Sidney's been playing 20 years.
I know.
He's older than one of the guys on the Penguins, they said.
Sid the Kid, no longer.
I was in middle school.
He's been playing longer than one of the guys.
I was in middle school when he started playing.
Yeah.
He's, you know what, and he's just crossed over for me from, being a guy I hated so much, in the Giroux days, all that stuff, to I just have nothing but respect at this point.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. All right, I'm really looking forward to this. So I'm going to turn this over to you, and I want you to kind of take us through however you want to go, your top 20, leading us to one, or however you want to kind of couch it. But these are the must-see, your greatest Halloween movies that, between now and what we got, 3 days left, it's a great kind of holiday weekend to kind of imbibe and indulge in these movies.
Yeah, well, this is a very hard homework assignment for me, as you can imagine. I mean, it's my favorite genre, no doubt, and I could do 100, and that's narrowing it down is very challenging. So what I did was, here's a criteria that you're curious to see what you think about it. In this day and age, there's a lot of films you see currently that are great horror, thriller films like Weapons, for example, that's streaming this week. Everyone loves it, right? But the movies that I put onto my list here are movies that I've watched over and over again. Today, there's so much content. People watch a movie once and they move on, right? But there's some movies that just stick with you. And especially back in the day when we didn't have streaming and on demand, if you can go to the movie theater multiple times to see a film, these are the films that really stuck with me because I wanted to see them over and over again. So what I did was I did a list of 35 and, I had to really limit myself. But I asterisked maybe the 20 that I think are probably in the top. And if you want, I gave the list to Andrew. You could post the whole 35 list.
Yeah.
If you want. But I can't go in any really particular order in terms of ranking. But I'll start off by saying this. Just like we talk a lot about, Jaws being maybe one of the best movies of all time. Certainly in people's top 2 or 3, and certainly on my horror list as well in my top 20. But there's no doubt to me, hands down, the GOAT, the greatest horror film of all time is The Exorcist. Hands down, cannot be defeated. Cannot be defeated. It's one that if you walk by it in the middle of the night and it's on your TV, you will be scared. There's no doubt.
Yes, it's one of the most chilling, and what makes it so timeless in its fright?
It's a good question. I think, for its time period, first of all, the music, Tubular Bells, the feel of the whole thing, it feels dark, it's rainy, it's creepy, and then just the performances. I mean, the Reagan character, But I tell you something else. It's subtle things that you wouldn't think are normal horror that get me in a movie like that. Like when she shows up at the beginning during the party that, her mom is an actress and she's having a party of celebrities at her house in Georgetown. And when Reagan comes down the stairs and she's just standing there, and what is she doing? She's urinating on the floor, which is so weird and creepy.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff that really got me more than anything else.
Yeah.
The power of Christ compels you.
Oh, yeah.
The power of Christ.
The head spinning.
No, you're right. It's because it's these scenes that are like everyday life that all of a sudden the plausibility's there. Like to me, it's always about the plausibility of it and the little breadcrumbs that happen in real life. Like a party.
Exactly. That's what it is, because it's subtle and yet it sets up this whole thing. She goes for MRIs. They don't know if there's something wrong with her mentally. So also the thing I love about this movie is it was added back in years later, but in the theater, they didn't show this one particular scene because they thought it would scare the audiences just way too much, which is when Reagan crab walks down the stairs.
Yeah.
She's like flipped over. They added it back in to the film now, and let me tell you something, man. It gives you chills.
Wow.
Yeah, the crab walk is wild.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. All right.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So back in the day, this is one I certainly saw in theaters multiple times. A lot of my films are in the 70s and 80s. The original Halloween. Obviously, it's been done a million times over. Through all the sequels and prequels and Rob Zombie's version and whatnot, but the original Donald Pleasance, the first time we see Michael Myers, again, the music. What do the best movies in the world have in common? They have a theme. Jaws has its theme when the shark arrives. Exorcist has Tubular Bells, and Halloween has the iconic. You know what I mean?
And I love the whole beginning setup of the movie. There's something about like the October leafy kind of suburban, everybody preparing for Halloween. That's the perfect setup for it.
It is. And it was, it was one of the first early sort of slasher films, right? But at the end of the day, you didn't know whether the Mike Myers character was an actual just human being or had something supernatural about him. I know they've played with that over the years, But in the original, you really weren't sure until he ends up on the lawn and they look out the window again and he's gone. You're like, what is this guy a superhuman?
Yeah. Yeah.
And John Carpenter, he created that music too himself, the director.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He does all his own music. He tours playing music. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
He's amazing. He's amazing. I mean, John Carpenter, listen, we could do a whole John Carpenter thing. The Thing. I mean, we could go off on a guy like him. The Thing is one of the best horror movies ever made as well. So I'll jump around a little bit. I had to put The Shining in there. The Shining is one of I must have watched that 30, 40 times at this point. It's not like the book at all, the Stephen King book. It's very, very different. But the way it was executed, the look, the feel of it, the winter, the being trapped alone in the snowstorm, Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall. I mean, that movie gets me to this day.
Do you have are you aware of the Shining news for December 12th?
No.
It's coming out in IMAX for the first time.
Wow.
That should be fun.
You know what? That movie, I'm trying to think, a lot of movies that the IMAX thing is a little gimmicky, but because of the ambiance of that movie, I think that could be pretty cool.
Like the overhead shots of the car on the winding road and all those expansive scenes of like the maze and stuff. I think it all look cool in IMAX.
Yep. I love this movie so much. I visited the hotel, the real hotel that
you
they
did
used as the exterior. Yeah, it's in Oregon, they used it just for the exterior, but I had to see it when I was there.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Wild,
Yeah. The Shining is one. Stephen King. Listen, it's hard to do a list like this without. You could do 10 Stephen King movies. One of the movies that made my list in the top 20 scared me like you wouldn't believe back in the day when I was a kid. Again, been remade a bunch of times. In fact, there's a TV series coming out in a few months, which is a series based on this film and book. But the original Carrie with Sissy Spacek, John Travolta, the best.
That end scene, what was it? Swine blood, pig blood at the end?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny, VG? I'm going to do a deeper dive on that for you. So, yeah, she's covered. They used pig blood when they torment her at the prom before she takes care of everybody with her telekinesis. But here, that wasn't the ending. The ending was after the whole aftermath of the whole thing. One of the girls who was the victim goes to the cemetery to visit her friends who had been killed during this process. And the arm comes up from the grave and grabs her. And that's how it ended. And people in the theater lost their minds.
Oh, my God.
They were so scared because you think it's over. It was one of the first movies that did that little trick on the audience where you think the movie's over and then this happens. Similar to another movie that is on my top 20 list for, culture. You know what I'm going to say, right?
Was it a
Friday
day of the
13th.
Week? Yeah, that was the greatest ending.
Right.
When I was a kid, that ending.
Oh, my
was
God.
like,
that was unbelievable.
it's all serene on the boat.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, to this day,
Yeah.
That's the exact thing that Carrie did. They make it serene, they lull you back in, and then you almost have a heart attack.
Well, you know what's amazing about Friday the 13th too is like it's that it begets this whole genre, right? Like, the camping thing, the wood, like the woods have always been.
I don't go camping because of that,
place
dude.
of fright,
Yes.
right? Like they've always been a place of fright and scare, like creepiness.
Not to everybody.
You don't camp near a
He
lake.
loves camping or something.
I love camping.
Yeah, like us city kids.
I could go out
no
for
way.
weeks.
I'm
No,
not going-
you're
I'm
not scared
camping.
of like Todd. You're scared of like you're being in the woods, man.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to take it. I'll tell you, when I moved, I lived in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And when I came out to Harrisburg.
Yeah, you're a Northeast guy.
And I lived in the city in Harrisburg, right? And I don't care what time of night, sirens, people fighting, whatever. None of that scares me. Gunshots, none of that scares me. when I moved out to a little bit more of a rural area with trees in the woods where it's silent at night, it's terrifying.
Yes.
Agree.
No.
Yes.
I want to hear cars at night with like maybe a train horn.
Yeah, because
I love the
it's
silence.
Siren.
The sounds of people.
Of life. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I love the silence. I've solo camped by myself for a couple
that
days
is
straight
psycho.
with no one else but me in the woods.
That is psycho.
I love it. I love the peace, the quiet. No one's around you. You don't have to worry about
You don't
anything.
know when no one's around you.
Well, that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you're solo camp, I'm afraid of you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You got townies popping through the woods. No way.
Man.
No way.
No, I'm with you, man.
That's right. That's right. I feel the exact same way. I mean, that's why all the movies, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, any
Yes.
sort of movie, you know, Cabin in the Woods. I mean, any movie like that gets
Sleepaway
terrifying.
Camp. I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm out on all of
Sleepaway
Exactly.
camp.
No way, man. That's a good
See,
one.
I grew up like in the country, in the rural areas, so I'm used to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Joel in the chat chiming in. Solo camping is insane. Yes.
Yeah, that's,
Oh my
that's
God.
scary.
That's terrifying. Absolutely.
Johnny Goodtimes.
It's not
Solo
that bad.
camper. What a freak.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
that.
you are.
Nah,
You're weird.
dude, you're on your own. You're on
weird.
your own
Like,
there.
I wanna
You
go
guys
buy-
are just
You
not
like
from
Survivor,
that.
man?
Like, what do you do?
Yeah, what
Like,
do you
like,
do?
where do you go?
You hike. You set
Okay.
a point. You set an A and B point, and then you get to that point.
And what do
you
you
hike.
do when you get there?
Yeah.
It's an achievement. It's an accomplishment.
Okay.
What do you
Well,
hiking
do?
Mount Everest?
Are you sleeping? You're sleeping out.
Yeah. Sleep
Right?
out.
Like,
You
what are
cook
you
on the
doing?
little.
Like, what are you eating? What are you doing?
You make a little fire. You cook on the fire.
Are you
bring
journaling? Are you writing? Like,
Yeah. You do some like inner soul searching. Yeah. Think about your life, where you're at. You know what you want to do, what you want to accomplish.
I don't know, Todd. I don't know.
if I'm thinking about my life where I'm at, I'm like, where am I? I'm sitting alone in the woods.
Yeah.
What have I done wrong in my life?
You
I'm
could
sitting here
you
alone
could do
in the
that.
woods.
You could do that in a bar by yourself.
But we don't learn when we're in our comforts. We have to go outside our comfort zones in order to learn, in order to figure out who we are.
Hey, God bless. I hear you.
Solo camping's just a serial killer who came up empty-handed. That's Joe L.
Joel, awesome, man.
Oh man.
That's you, man. I start to look at you side-eye, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's no good, man. That's great. All right, what else we got?
Also on my list, the original and has never been outdone first film about the devil, a devil spawn, The Omen. The original Omen,
Oh,
a good one.
1976, Gregory Peck. Also a movie that has a theme song, like Friday the 13th had a theme song. The Omen had one too, like the Damien song. That was a terrifying movie.
Terrifying.
Because it wasn't like this kid was going around like physically killing people, but people around him were worshiping the devil and doing things for this, this antichrist. It was
Wait, sit tight
oh
for
my
1
God.
second. Sit tight for 1 second because it's a great conversation. We are in overtime, OT. Make sure you follow us to YouTube if you're watching on any of our other platforms, streaming. Otherwise, YouTube, like, subscribe. We need it. The algorithm helps out. We appreciate you guys. You're so right about that movie. You talk about the little things like the dogs. You had the dogs that were protecting him, the babysitter with the kids' party, and she hangs herself. Wow, like it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I don't have kids.
The
No
sque-
Damien.
the-
Get
the
out of here.
The squeak of the tricycle as he's riding it on the hardwood floors and the mother falls. That's crazy.
By the way, great reference. That's what they used in The Shining too. He
Yes.
used the tricycle or the squeak on the floor, same kind of thing. But the best part about that movie is the fact that it's a very slow psychological build. Like Gregory Peck is learning about his son, like as the audience is learning about it. It's just a psychological buildup of tension. I mean,
The
what an
priest.
The
Like,
priest.
the priest is coming out of nowhere. Your life's in danger.
And
Ambassador.
the moral of that story also never trust a kid in a suit unless it's a communion suit. Otherwise, kids are terrifying. Little boys in those suits, no way. I'm out.
Like, how about the idea of when they go to the zoo, the outdoors, and the animals are freaking out, right? Then he goes by church. Like, how nuts was that?
Exactly. And this, the theme of this has been done a million times, right? It's been done so many times. But the way they did it in the first movie in 1976, look, I'll say the same thing about Rosemary's Baby, which is clearly on my list too. That theme has been done a million times too. But again, it was psychological. It wasn't in your face. It was like, they were thinking people's movies, really.
Oh, dude, you're right on, man. That's what makes it scarier. The imagination. Like, when you see it, sometimes it can look cartoonish. It could just be, all right. But when you're left up to your own imagination and your own thought, it's what makes it way more frightening.
Yeah, I mean, after Rosemary's Baby, so many movies came out trying to sort of copy that whole idea of a person being impregnated by Satan or, some mutant child or whatever, There was a movie, it's not on my list, but there was a movie that terrified me as a kid. I don't know if you remember this, Anthony. It was called It's Alive. And it was about this woman who had this baby, and the baby freaked out and killed people in the hospital. So this theme, Mia Farrow, it's up on the screen. It's very much a psychological movie about this cult who worship Satan.
Yeah,
dude, that baby, It's Alive, is so crazy looking.
I know, but VG,
looks like a cuttlefish or something. One of those crazy fishes with crazy teeth.
Yeah, and it scared me. But listen, here's the thing. Even to this day, and Andrew knows this because he watched it this week. If you watch the first episode of Welcome to Derry, which is the prequel, the opening scene, the opening sequence really has a mutant baby in there.
Yes.
That reminded me so much of It's Alive.
It does, yeah. I got a picture of this thing I'm putting up.
That's great. That's great. Oh my.
Yeah. See, this is the kind of rabbit hole I go down. I can't help
Dude,
myself.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street on my list. Nightmare on Elm Street was one of the best. Oh, there you go.
Wow. Yeah, It's Alive, baby.
That's awesome.
That big brain on Brad.
Wow. It's the brain.
That's what he looked like when he was a kid.
Put a parlay in right now.
Snell, 16 ounce.
Yeah.
16 ounce.
Ravens -8.
Texas Tech.
Give him some glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, my God. Oh, that's my Todd rules, man. That's all.
You got it. But Andrew, how close is that baby to the baby in Welcome to Derry?
Oh, so close. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I thought of it right away. I love it. Anyway, Nightmare on Elm Street. One amazing theater movie. It was one. I mean, it was a big movie because it was Johnny Depp's first movie coming off of 21 Jump Street. But obviously, it set up an amazing franchise. But that first one, which was really super low budget, indie, and felt indie, but was terrifying and made people think if I go to sleep, is this kind of thing going to happen? To this day, I love that first movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just watched it a couple days ago. I think it's great.
Isn't it great? And don't you love how indie it was, very cheaply made?
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool. There's a cool thing about it.
Yeah. Very, very, one of my favorites for sure. We've talked about it on previous shows, but the original again, you can't beat these originals we're talking about. The first Alien in the theater was just, you were riveted to your seat, riveted. The claustrophobic nature of it, again, the newness of it. Now everybody knows what the alien looks like, and you see it and all that stuff. But the first time, it was cut. Oh, dude, it was like a Spielberg movie in a way, right? Where you didn't see the alien until much later.
Yeah, yeah, it was scary. That first one, the time it comes out and it was awesome. Great movie.
Holds up too. Holds up.
Yeah.
and a great tagline a tagline that's quoted all the
Great
time.
movie
In
poster,
space, Yeah.
Like
The
just the
tagline-
font in Alien. Like, look at the font. It's great font. Creepy
Yeah,
font.
It is good
egg.
font, good spacing.
Yeah.
The egg, and it's iconic that image that you put up there, and so is the tagline. In space, no one can hear you scream. It's one of the greatest taglines of horror movies of all time.
Spooky, man.
Yeah.
They just need little baby brain crawling out of that egg.
Yeah.
Under.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna throw a horror comedy into this because it is one of my favorite. I watched it not long ago to see if it holds up because the critics were going insane over how good the special effects were. An American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. Great one.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
Great
movies.
one.
And it's funny because it has some levity in it. And it's got fright and levity, but the fright's legit fright.
Yep, and it's got a little gore, and the transformation scene that when he transforms to the song Blue Moon, the transformation scene literally at the time was talked about as a technological achievement. And you watch it to this day in the world we live in with CGI and all this stuff, it is still really good.
And it's so well acted too. Like he's so good at it. Like he acted that thing really well. The facial,
Really did.
the whole thing. It's a great movie. It really is a great movie. That's on my go back to watch list.
Yeah, it's fun. People were
really-
nuts about the slow transformation.
It was so cool. And John Landis, amazing director. So when you get a great director to do a horror film, it's incredibly like Kubrick doing The Shining.
Yes.
Here's another one that we probably haven't talked about. This is not the original. I like the original, but the remake of The Fly. The remake of The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of transformations.
I love Jeff Goldblum. Like one of the most underrated actors of all time.
Yeah. The transformation.
Yeah. Great transformation. Great transformation.
Yeah. How many more you want, man? I could go on for days.
All right, we got a couple minutes because then we got Tim McDermott. Looking forward to seeing Timmy from the Union and talking some World Cup. So give me 3 or 4 more, and then we'll call it a day. But I love this. I might have to drag you back tomorrow. Like this is so good.
It's so hard. I'll put out my list of 35 because it is so hard. I'll just read a couple more that I had on there. I had I personally love Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I love the remake of it.
Yeah.
I love. Listen, I'll put on there A Silence of the Lambs.
Great.
How do you not say that's one of the greatest horror films of all time?
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. How about? Let me ask you a question. Do you put any vampire movies on there?
Yeah, I do, but I don't put on like the ones that typically people put on. There's 2 vampire movies that are that I just love. I watch over and over again. There's a movie, again, kind of horror comedy, but I like the original from 1985 or 87, I think it may have been, called Fright Night.
Awesome.
Fright Night is awesome, right?
Awesome.
I loved Fright Night.
Chris Sarandon is a vampire living across the street. They remade it with Colin Farrell a bunch of years ago. It was actually pretty good. And then one of my favorite vampire movies is From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino.
Yes.
That's one of my
Hayek.
favorites.
Yeah.
Yep. One of my favorites. That really holds up. That is a fun film. Robert Rodriguez, one of his first films. Really, really good. But man, I can go on and on.
How about the new wave of the possession, the house possessions,
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, all those, because there's the Insidious, right? The possession movies.
Conjuring.
I like them, but for me, the ultimate possession movie, house related, ultimate hands down, Poltergeist.
Oh yeah.
Poltergeist. Amityville was great too.
Oh, the lady.
By the way,
crazy.
Oh, she was scary.
Yeah.
You know, don't go near the line. Don't go into the line, Caroline. Like, you know what was great was the creepy dude all in black at the door.
Oh, the preacher guy?
Yeah, he looked like he looked skeletal.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude's scary, man.
That's my man. I look like him.
You do kind of look like him. That's why you scare me.
Give me a hat like that.
You resemble.
You know, there's some good stuff there. And,
Yeah, listen, even like a guy like that, I could go down a rabbit hole with you about those kinds of characters. The tall, thin, dark guy, like Phantasm did it with the guy called the Tall Man. I mean, these movies are all interconnected.
yes. Wow. What is it about the tall, skeletal man that's so scary?
The slender.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
The preacher.
Oh, my God. Todd. Oh, no.
There's nothing scary about us. We're fine.
Flesh eater.
Creeping around in the shadows.
God. But, like, this is so much fun. You do this one, the little exercise, and maybe we can sneak in if you got time. Like, we have time, but maybe we can sneak in before either tomorrow or Friday if you have a minute to come up with your scariest characters.
Scariest characters. All right, I have to think about
Like
that
the
one.
people that scared you.
Yeah, like people
Like I just mentioned that creepy, that preacher guy. Like that guy's at my door. You know, I got a bat. I got one of Moscow's bats. I'm smacking that dude.
Just think creepy like guys from Doylestown who camp alone.
Really, man. I'm with a bunch of freaks in here.
It's not freakish.
Because here's what we could do. So next week, there's a thriller that I'm so excited to see this weekend called Begonia. Yorgos Lanthimos' new film.
I saw the trailer for it. Yeah.
I'm so excited to see it. So what we should do next week, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to see it. We'll talk about that movie, and we'll build off this. We'll continue. Let's continue talking about this. I'll bring up the characters next week.
All right. Deal. Great stuff. My brother, awesome. That was great, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
Great.
Todd.
Taking us down memory lane. Fantastic. Good stuff. Thanks, brother. Go Flyers.
Go Flyers.
Go Flyers.
There he is. Todd. We going to corners?
Corner 3, yeah.
Corner 3.
Need a mic.
All right. Because coming up, we're going to talk a little World Cup. If I get not tangled in these wires. A little World Cup action. Cannot wait. And some Union. The first leg. Victory. Woo! Second leg coming up in Chicago. So we're looking forward to that this weekend. And one of the great people, right, in all of Philadelphia sports, I've known Timmy forever. Great sports family. All right? The McDermott family. First of all, Dad, Rich, great high school football coach in the area, right? Brother Sean, great football coach. Started with the Eagles, then in Carolina, and now in Buffalo, as you know. And Timmy has been a sports executive in town. He has worked for the Eagles, for the Sixers, and now he's president of the Union. He's terrific. Let's get him up here. Let's get Timmy up here. One of the great people, great Delaware Valley people, great family. You sit right here, brother. You get right over here, pal. Here he is, Tim McDermott, president of the Union. What's up, buddy?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, pal.
It's been a while, huh?
I know, buddy.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you, man.
It's so
Violation Greg, I hear.
That's what they say.
I wasn't sure what to say. So
my brother, so good. First of all, I was telling everybody, all about you and your career and the family.
Yeah.
I love your family. You guys are just
I gotta
great
make sure
people.
I get a photo. My dad will be pretty excited. So
So I love your father,
Yeah.
right? Like he's one of the great people. Like we talk, like he helps me deal with I have 2 kids that play football, and like I always send Dad videos of them and pictures, and he indulges me all the time. God bless him. And
good guy.
your brother, who's I still talk to on the regular, like just great. Your family's a beautiful family.
Thank
man.
you. Appreciate that.
You know?
Appreciate that.
And your career, dude, Eagles, Sixers, Union. I mean, your stamps all in town. Now World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
it's been fun. Good run. I'm getting old though, huh?
We both are. I mean, that's what it is. So first of all, congratulations, because first leg, baby.
Yeah, got a W, right? Got a W. So the best of 3 in the first round. So it was good to get that one against Chicago, and made it a little too exciting at the end. Went to the penalty kicks, but got it done. And then we go out to Chicago Saturday, and hopefully we get that done. If not, it comes back to our house the following Saturday. So, but yeah, good start.
What this year has been a magical season.
Yeah, been good.
I mean, none of us expected. Did you have a feeling that maybe that you guys could achieve this?
Yeah, look, the truth be told, like if you look at the last probably 6-7 years, we've had a lot of remarkable years. We have a lot of kind of metrics that we'll look at that we are first in, first in points, first in goals scored. So there's a lot of stuff that we've been pretty darn good at. We do it a little bit different, right? So, in a one way we say the money ball approach, right? That's, like the Oakland A's and kind of Billy Beane and all that type of stuff. So we use a lot of data. We try and do things a little bit different, a little contrarian to what everybody else is doing. And the biggest thing I would say is we put the team and the collective, the system in front of any star player. So we don't have, the Messi on the team, right? But what we do is we try to be the toughest team. And I don't mean to say that just because we're in Philadelphia and it kind of goes with the city and stuff. But truth be told, that is what everybody comes and plays. It says you're the toughest team. The reason is because we play a slightly different approach. And not to talk all technical soccer, but it's like if you're an attacker and you're an offense, you lose the ball, you immediately re-attack to get it back, right? And so the mindset is the key of like everybody knows. It's like, you ever see the movie 300?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the smaller band that comes together, but they all know the role. They all work in cohesion with one another, and that is who we are. Like, think that mindset. So to get it right means when we're looking for players, we have a whole data system that we'll put everybody through. Certain players might be great players, just not for us. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's not so how great are you with the ball, but it's more like, are you willing to, run through a wall, right? Are you willing to run through the wall?
Right, you want to talk about
right?
Philadelphia,
right? Center
Yeah,
fielder,
right?
Right? So are you willing to be like that? Like, that's the thing that we look for. And it doesn't mean you're the best, quote unquote, soccer player, but you are the toughest son of a gun out there. This past weekend, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, Ali Bedoya gets all mashed up at the end of the game, and his face is just, bloodied up. And like, that's like who we are, right? And if you're like that, then you fit in great. And if you're not like that, then it doesn't work. So that's part of the culture that we build.
How did you decide on that direction? And you got to get people to coach it correctly.
Yeah. So we have a sporting director, Ernst Tanner, came in now, probably about 7 or so years ago. And, that's his mindset, right? Like, it starts with him and then the coach that he brings in. So it doesn't work if everybody doesn't believe it, buy into it, because it's a system, right? Going back to that movie 300. If one of those guys doesn't do his thing, the whole thing breaks down, right?
You're right. It's all about the chain
that is
and the
all
link.
us, right? And that's why we can beat so many teams, because everybody buys into it. And at the front end of bringing a player in, we know before they ever step foot here, before they ever become a member of the union, we know that that's who they are.
Right.
So yeah, it's a big piece of the culture. We had a great year this year. Brought in a new coach, and Bradley Carnell, and he's done a great job for us. Really high emotional intelligence, really good with the players, getting everybody to kind of row together. And look, you've been around enough to see, like, when you get a good group of good culture, good teamwork, guys that play for each other, root for each other, great things can happen. When you get kind of selfish players or one-offs, et cetera, that don't fit into a system, it doesn't matter, how great of individuals they are. It doesn't work.
You know, it's funny because we just got this conversation yesterday about the Sixers and about with Maxey, and then you're bringing in Edgecombe and the energy. Like Maxey has such great energy, that positive energy, and it just travels. Whatever sport it is, you need to build in talent, of course, but you need good energy and guys that come together and have that kind of energy. I mean, you know, you saw it with the Phillies at times, right? You've seen it, you know, with the Eagles. Like, you know, look, you know, winning this culture of the Eagles has been a lot of that.
Yeah, that's a it's a key ingredient. It's not easy to get it, quite frankly, right? And I do think what you said earlier of like those leaders in our company have to embody it, believe in it, and when you have a bad day in the office, right, a bad day on the field, whether it's baseball, football, soccer, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, how do you come back? How do you not get your head down? How do you bring people back up? Because it's easy to start going down the drain the wrong way. And I think, you know, when you have a really good group of people, and again, that starts the beginning process of when you bring them in, you can't miss when you bring people in. You might miss in terms of like how good are they?
Right.
But you can't miss with who they are as a person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You don't get that back. I mean, look, you know, like you could see over the years, you know, it's probably like good examples in the Eagles, right? Where they brought in talented people, but not always the right type of person, right? And then what happened, right?
Totally. So like we go back to like dream teams and all this stuff.
That's DeMarco Murray.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, no, but that's exactly what you're talking about. And it's interesting because it is the flavor of the city. Like, you know, and
it is.
It is kind of who we are, the embodiment of it.
Yep.
And it feels like you guys really have that.
Look, a lot of people say that, right? A lot of people, I think it's, you know, very
become cliche,
right? And sit into my position or a coach's position and be like, we embody the city. The reality is, no, you don't. Most of them don't.
You're right.
To really, really do it, it's different than saying it and really walking the walk. And like you can go back, you know, 25 years of probably people in my shoes, presidents of the team, marketing people,
because
coaches,
it's always
general managers,
been
saying it because it's what you want to. It's what you
really
want to say.
aspire,
You're trying to talk to the fans and say we embody. The truth of the matter is, not everybody does it, right? But I think we do. Like that's the thing. Like we've truly embodied that grit, that hard work, that just you're gonna get bloodied out there, and like if you got a chance to make a tackle and it's gonna break your leg, you break your leg and you save the goal. Right? That's the mindset you gotta have.
So do you guys have a reputation around the league with referees and stuff? Do you find yourselves more penalized than other teams?
We might. Yeah. We might, no, but I'll tell you, like, let's say it in a positive way. I'll say it in a positive way. This is a slightly different approach to that. We will be offsides. We will lead the league in offsides, right? And the reason is the way that we play is very vertical, right? So we're like, hey, it's like a wide receiver. Go long. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to throw the ball long, right? I'm the quarterback. I'm going to throw the ball long. That's what we want in soccer. Now, we may not complete the pass, right? So we have the fewest completed passes, but we're going to say go long because guess what? If we do complete that pass, right, it's a touchdown. It's a goal. So our guys are going to be offsides, and it's not because they don't know what they're doing. It's because we're telling them, like, be aggressive, be bold, go. And if you're offsides, you're offsides. But I know you're pushing it. You're pushing the limit. So that's the way we think. That's the way we approach
Looking
it.
for those
and that is an
plays.
exciting brand too.
Totally.
Like, I mean, that's it.
And that's what I say. Like, we don't need, I mean, it's wonderful to have a Messi, but we don't need the Messi because when you play with that mindset, like, that's not about, how sophisticated are you with your foot skill. That's about just mentality and mindset.
All right. So let's talk about the role of the sport. All right.
Yep.
We do a World Cup Wednesday every week. We're counting down to December 5th when we get the draw. It's awesome. Like it's having this event here is so amazing. We had the Club World Cup, which was fantastic. You're a huge part of this thing.
Yep.
So how excited and what this means for you and awareness for the union and for the sport here to grow it.
Yeah, I think, we've had our eyes on this for quite some time, obviously. Yeah. And a lot of people in the United States and the soccer world and the MLS world are seeing, hey, is this a catapulting opportunity, right? And when all this comes to fruition, what's going to happen? And I think we're at an inflection point where this could all, the World Cup can come to Philadelphia and inside the United States. and it could be a great CBB exercise, right? Heads and beds, and we're going to showcase Philadelphia, and it could be a great thing. And look, Philly does sports really well. Events, right? Big events, draft, NFL draft, et cetera. Like, we'll be good at that, right? The Eagles know how to put on a show at their stadium. Like, there's no doubt from that standpoint. Everybody who comes here, Philadelphia will shine operationally, logistically. We're good. Like, and I can see, like, relative to what's happening in some of the other cities, we're pretty tight with what we're doing. So I have no doubts that as an operation, as logistics, as World Cup, as a fun event, we're going to shine. The challenge is, how do we convert people who come and watch these games, whether it be TV, whether it be in the stadium for maybe the first time, how do we convert them to becoming Philadelphia Union fans? What I know is back in 1994, when the World Cup came to the United States, soccer participation went up.
Right.
Out of 1994, the MLS was born, and that's kind of how soccer in America in the sense of the MLS really kind of got going. So I know, or I predict, that soccer participation, youth participation, is going to grow. We've got to figure out how. And
it's already at a.
Look, it's like the universal gateway to youth sports, right? I think everybody says, "Hey, my kid's 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put them into soccer. It's good. It's safe." What we've got to figure out is, like, okay, so when that youth soccer participation grows, how are we getting that kid, that parent, that coach to say, I root for the Philadelphia Union. That's my team. Right. And, going back, 7, 8 years ago, I remember talking to somebody. They were on my son's, soccer team at the time. And, he was obviously, pretty familiar with the sport, into the sport. And, it was a Saturday, and he said, "Hey, when do you play next?" And I said, "Well, in about, 6 hours tonight." Like, that can't happen, right? Yeah. I need those people to know when we play, root for us, know our players, want to be watching us on TV, coming to the game. So that's the challenge and the opportunity for us is, hey, World Cup is coming, but if it just comes and it's a great, month-long event, and we don't convert people to becoming soccer fans or Union fans, then we missed, right? So we've got to have all of our players, all of our coaches out and about in the media, increasing our awareness, the Philadelphia Union awareness. We need to be doing more at the youth soccer level to make sure as you enter to be a participant at the youth soccer level, you're starting to know who we are and root for us. So we've got our work cut out for us. So it's not a slam dunk that World Cup comes and, hey, all of a sudden, the soccer growth happens. But I think we got the right ingredients, and we just got to make sure that we're really smart about bringing those people into the fold to be Union fans now.
Well, I thought it was smart that you went into the youth academy, right?
Yep.
Because, I know people, kids that are in the program, right? And it's like, the elite of the youth are you guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great inroad. And I think you double and triple down with that.
Yep.
And then I think you get people, I think you're right, to want to watch it on TV. Right? Like, it's one thing to be there, and the place is beautiful.
Yep.
I mean, you're on the wall. It's a great atmosphere. But to really grow it is...
Got to be TV.
TV.
Got to be. 100%. So let me... Academy is what you're referring to, our Union Youth Academy, our Union Academy. Yes, it is the #1 academy in North America. It's been about a decade, actually about 12, 13 years now in existence. And it's very different formula for youth sports, if you think of it that way, than baseball, basketball, football. We find the best kids locally and, quite frankly, nationally. We have residency. We have our own private school here, YC Academy. So, the kids come in, they go to our school. And the development that we emphasize is the best, in North America. Hands down, the best in North America. We pay for everything. So we'll spend $8 million on kids ages 8 to basically 21 years of age, right? Like, we are all in on youth development. And that is not done in any other sport, right? And my kid's a lacrosse player. I'm paying for that, for him to play lacrosse.
Right, of course.
So if you're that good, we've got school, we've got all the coaching and development, the sports science, the nutrition, et cetera, all taken care of. So we're able to find kids locally in the Philadelphia area, but also nationally, bring them into our system. And then the idea is we develop them, and they play for us then. And then at a certain point, we'll sell their player rights to, maybe somebody in Europe.
Yeah.
Now, that's where we are today, and that's what we're doing.
Just because I read this piece about, I think it was Man United and their program for youth, which is, I'm fascinated by it. their sports science goes to the point where if they could tell if a kid's in a growth spurt, that they shut them down because I guess you're more prone to injury when you're about to spurt. And I guess we grow in these chunks of increments, right?
Yeah.
So like these spurts are true.
Sure,
they really are true spurts, and that they'll shut them down. And they're that, to the maniacal with it. And then like I talked to somebody that's in your program about the detail of it. And I was like, wow, it reminded me of Man United.
That's right. We put a ton of emphasis around sports science, data, nutrition. I mean, we've got every little nook and cranny that we are trying to kind of figure out. I'll give you an example. We haven't really publicly talked about this a whole lot, but we're developing what we call the Striker Lab. And so we just built a $100 million training facility. So it's got 7 outdoor fields, it's got an indoor full-size field, heated, cooled. It's got 2-story weightlifting center, 2 basketball courts, 6 locker rooms, recovery room. I mean, it's a it's a professional, like the best in the world type complex. And part of what we're building is a thing called the Striker Lab. And the Striker Lab is a derivative of the Wake Forest pitching lab. So anybody who's familiar with baseball, Wake Forest built this a couple years ago. And it really was to study the biomechanics of a pitcher, the physics and the biomechanics of a pitcher, so that they can figure out, hey, you're overstriding, you're understriding, your elbows this way, et cetera. So if we can take that now to striking a ball, kicking a ball, and teach somebody how to kick the ball, how to bend the ball, et cetera, the actual little tiny minute details of, hey, your hips were open, your foot wasn't this. So that's like part of what we're doing, right? So we are into the details, like that level of details.
Striker Lab.
Yeah, Striker Lab.
Awesome.
So it's most of that like you see the golf simulators, like a lot of computer just analyzes how the foot hits the ball and the rotation and speed and all that. Yeah.
How do you get to the point where it's taught, right? Like one of the issues like with baseball is, like I can tell you through analytics and everything exactly what your shortcomings are, but how do you now teach it, right? Like that's the
cognitive part, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's the interesting, like once you, and I guess with your Striker Lab is like, all right, because everybody's different, right? And every kid, but teaching them correctly is the truest of the challenge.
Yeah, I would say that honestly, probably one of the biggest things that our sporting director, our sporting director in soccer is kind of like a general manager. What he would say is the cognitive piece of the game is probably the piece in America that we still need to work on the most.
Yeah, it makes
right?
sense.
Like we have physically, we have gifted,
Yes.
talented people, kids. It's the understanding, the tactical understanding of the game that is where we need to develop.
So is that from, like you go to Europe and just kids always has a ball, right? Like you're just kind of, you're attached to it from at a little age, a small age, you always have a ball and they're always kicking it, dribbling it, doing everything.
I think it's a few things. I mean, it's coaching, right? It's it's the way for years, the way soccer worked in the United States, and it's changing and changed. But it was, when I was a kid, it was, you have a Monday practice, a Wednesday practice, Saturday game, and still a lot of that. You're never going to be good enough by doing that. Right. You have to touch the ball every single day. And if I compare that to some other country, that other country, it can be a small country, that kid, from a little age, 3 years old, dribbling a ball in the house. Then, they get to elementary school and they're going to dribble the ball out of school. They're going to play, at recess, it's going to be soccer, football probably. They're going to dribble home. They're going to play in the street or backyard, unstructured play for a couple of hours. Then they'll go to practice. So you don't need volume of people to do that, right? You just need enough, quality to do it. And so that's the real difference. And that's where I think nowadays the Union Academy is structured like that because we run our own school, kids can practice in the morning, right? They come to our facility, they practice first, then they'll go to school. So school will start around 10 o'clock, be done around 3 o'clock, and then they'll go back to practice. So we can double their number of touches.
Do you think that's the future? I do a lot with youth sports. Obviously, my kids, they both play football. The one also plays baseball, and they're pretty good. And like, I'm fascinated by this whole kind of world now and how youth sports is going, right?
It's crazy.
And obviously with NIL, and you see it everywhere. But it feels like the future of it are these school academies where you have class intertwined. That's how it is in Europe, and that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
is really at the forefront of everything.
So look, I could probably talk for hours about youth sports and the professionalization of youth sports, and the good about it, the challenges of it, sometimes the bad about it. But I love it. Like I look at what's happening in youth sports, and I get so excited just to think about it and talk about it. I think you do see a lot of these academy type situations popping up. I mean, even if you go to like an other sport like gymnastics, like the concept of gymnastics and going and being homeschooled, right, has been around for many years, right? But why? Well, that allows that gymnast to practice 8 hours a day. If they don't practice 8 hours a day, they won't be good enough, right? So in soccer, they have to practice enough to be good enough. It's a very technical skill. This doesn't necessarily apply to maybe football, right? American football, right? It's not super technical, but any sport that's got a high level of technicality to it.
Baseball, I mean, hitting the baseball.
You got to be doing it, enough for at volumes. And so I think you're seeing a lot of change in youth sports, the professionalization of youth sports, the specialization. And this is a big debate. I hear people all the time, like they say, don't specialize, don't. And I can tell you this, like my opinion is, if you're an amazingly gifted athlete, I'm talking like, just you are genetically gifted, you might be able to play multiple sports and play at an elite level. And I think that's also a key. People say, hey, play multiple sports. There's playing multiple sports, and there's playing multiple sports at an elite level. Mm-hmm. And you might play a sport and be elite at one, and the other one you just do for fun, sure. But to play multiple sports at a very, very elite level is very, very rare, very hard to do in today's sports society. Now, again, if it's a sport like football, less technical, you probably can.
Right,
but
you could do football and baseball.
Like my son plays lacrosse and wrestles, right? And a couple of years ago, he said, Dad, I want to go, all in on lacrosse. And so he really backed down in wrestling. And I can tell you today, if you don't wrestle 365 days a year, those other guys are.
Yeah.
And highly technical sport, muscle memory, like you won't be elite.
Yeah.
Like it just won't happen. And so I firmly believe that you get into swimming, you get into gymnastics, certain sports that are just highly technical. Yes, you have to be doing them a lot more, and therefore specialization starts to occur. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't also do other things to round you out, right? Other sorts of training to round you out, right? But because people will say overuse, and I understand that. But I'm telling you right now, what I see in certain sports is, the more you do it, you're better off.
No, listen, I have this debate all the time. I feel you on it. And I will agree that different sports lends to a different approach. Like baseball, you can't throw you can't pitch
all day long.
I mean, you just can't do it. Like as much as you need that skill, like I just see arm issues everywhere.
Correct.
Right? Like
agree.
And even if you're out. You're a pitcher, but you're just having to you're gonna mess with your elbow and your shoulder. It's just what it is. But to your point, and a lot of Olympic sports, like where you have to just be all in on your craft, building.
Look,
your craft.
It's become good or bad. I would say it's almost like a little arms race, right? Like I watched this in wrestling. Like, okay, you go to practice, 4 days a week, then I'm gonna go 5. You get a private lesson on Monday, I'm going to get one on Tuesday. You get 2 lessons, I'm going to get 3, right? And that's kind of what's happened. And I'm using wrestling. It could be any sport. Like this is what's happening in the sports world. And I'm not saying I actually think it's awesome in some regards. Like I love it. But kids today can do things in 6th grade, 7th grade that maybe 30 years ago you would do in high school or something. It's pretty amazing.
It's unbelievable. It really is. And the level of knowledge, because your lessons and because you're completely immersed in it. Like I watch these kids. Like in fact, there's a kid who's a quarterback for St. Joe's Prep, right? Charlie Falk, and I just saw him last night, and they win a state title, and the next week he's throwing, right, with his coach.
Yep.
And my little guy was there, and I'm watching this kid throw, and I'm watching just all the footwork stuff.
Yeah.
And it's every day. We talk about technical, right? Footwork for a quarterback, and target practice is everything.
Yep.
And I'm the idea of watching film every day. They're going in, they're looking. they're feeding their mental acumen. It's pretty awesome.
It is. I love it.
So do
Again,
I.
it's not for
I do
everybody,
too.
and I think it does put people down a path that if you want to be at that level and the all-in commitment it takes, it's hard to do that, and it's not for everybody.
But it's cool that you guys have this thing where you're paying.
Yeah, we're taking care
you're
of
taking
everybody.
care like that load on a parent.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it's look, on a per child basis, we're probably spending $50,000 per kid per year.
Yeah.
To give them the best of the best environment. So yeah, look, ultimately from our standpoint, the union, we want to produce the best players. Those best players play for us. It helps us win.
Yeah.
Right, which is the goal.
Right.
And then going back to what you said about TV, we do need to get more people, more viewers to be watching the Philadelphia Union and soccer in general on TV. Like that's kind of like the goal, right? Is we need to get more interest, more fans, scale, so that more people are watching us on TV, and that ultimately, hopefully, becomes a better media rights deal for the league, and ultimately down to the Philadelphia Union. So that cycle then repeats, and you continue to invest in players and grow the league, grow the talent of the players. So, but that's the big trick. It's a big challenge.
The idea of World Cup, which will be massive, like. You in this world, explain to people what it's going to be like. Like I'm thrilled. Like I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, a lot of people say, it's like, you've probably heard people now say, hey, take the Super Bowl and then multiply it by whatever, X number of games, right? And yeah, think of it that way. I think the big thing is, you're going to have a ton of people who are not from Philadelphia who are going to be visiting, whether that be people in the United States visiting Philadelphia or outside the United States visiting Philadelphia. There's going to be a massive amount of influx into the region. Particularly in other countries, this is the sport that everybody lives and dies by. I think in the United States we sometimes lose sight of that this is the world's most popular sport. Not necessarily yet in the United States. Get that? We're trying to change that and grow that. But this is in the world, this is the sport that when you're 3 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old, and you're living in whatever, England, or you're in, somewhere in Europe or really globally, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, this is the sport that everybody does.
Yeah. And then, this idea of the World Cup, man, and Philadelphia's it's situated perfectly, right? Because, you'll be in New York, but the games are in New Jersey, right? You got Boston. You have all the North American situation. You're better off like hunkering down here and then making your
our draw, right? Because what you just said, 2 hours in New York, 2 hours to Baltimore, DC. Like we're in a great situation to draw from a lot of places, and now with DC not having a World Cup, I think you're going to see it also. Like that's going to be huge for us, getting a lot of people to come up from there. So
it's going to be fun. It's just going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to be at the forefront, our city. Next year, 2026, between World Cup, USA 250. I mean, I think that's our coming out party. You know how cities, when Brazil had the World Cup and everybody, like you could see it, like Rio became the thing, and there was a movie, animated kids movie. Right. Like it just so happens that certain cities becoming vogue and cool again, and I think Philadelphia's arcing that way.
Yeah. I mean, look, we do sports really well in this town. Right, not just the history of all of our sports teams and the history of putting on grand events. We're good at that. Like the people, the leadership that we've got that are going to be organizing, running everything. Like they're good at that. So I have no doubt that we are going to shine as a city. And then from the union standpoint, like I said earlier, we've got to take advantage of that, right? I need to be in a situation where behind me is, union pennants behind me, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the goal, right? Yeah. Like we always talked about, years ago, we say, hey, it's 4-for-4 town and making it a 5-for-5 town. Like that's my goal. I wake up every day thinking about how do I compete?
I always feel bad, right? Because I created the 4-for-4 before the union was in existence.
I know. You got to change it.
And I'm like, 5-for-5. I'm like 4-for-4 is really a euphemism for all of Philadelphia.
Yeah, but we need to change it.
Yes,
we need
5-for-5.
I mean this like that. When I wake up and you say what motivates me, that is it, right? That's cool. To make this a 5-for-5 town, truly a 5-for-5 town, right? When my, whatever, if I go to my son or daughter's coach and they say, hey, it's a Philadelphia theme for practice today, and everybody wear their gear. Like I want people wearing their union gear. I want everybody in this town to think about it that way, and that's what I wake up every single day being like, how do we get there? How do we get there? How do we grow? And so, yeah, that's what drives me and what the ultimate goal is. So,
awesome,
yeah.
bro.
So hopefully, once the World Cup is done, behind me here, we're gonna have
we got jersey and
some,
scarf
yeah,
over
I
there.
got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Come on.
We got
Do you find yourself like leaning into social media a little bit with the players, trying to connect with a larger audience?
We are. Look, I think, the good and bad. Like, our players are probably the hardest working, probably also at the same time, quieter, if you will, right? And so some of them will lean into social media. There's times when I wish, like, oh man, if they would date a Kardashian, that would be great, right?
No, you still having the bend. No,
But the truth of the matter is, like, that may or may not be them. But yeah, we have to figure out, like, how do we, prop that up a little bit.
Yeah, well, we're here.
Yeah,
Thank
You
you.
need us, right?
Appreciate it.
We're here. PG does a show here. Cooper and Reed do a show here. So you identify that guy, and he'll do a show here. So
Awesome.
Be great. My brother, so great to see you.
Likewise.
This is awesome. I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of this stuff leading up until the event, which is going to be great. And listen, good luck, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, like,
got it.
When we go, we right before the championship. Let's keep this thing going.
That'd be great. I hope we get to that MLS Cup championship. Hey, 2022 is probably one of the most exciting MLS
God, it was
Cups
unbelievable.
ever. As you know, we lost to LAFC in the last seconds. So if we could get back there,
Gut-wrenching.
the thing is, like, this year with winning the Supporter Shield, which basically means we were the first place, in the entirety throughout the regular season, which means we would get the MLS Cup here. So we'll see. We got to win Chicago, and then we'll see what happens after that.
All right, well, let's root him in, baby.
You got it.
I love it. Tim McDermott, union president, who is unbelievable, great Philadelphia guy, great sportsman. So we appreciate it, and lots to get to. All right, listen, we went deep into OT. Let's end with our, that's right, back in the day moment. Let's go.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back. Back in the day with True Mark. Oh yeah.
Park Financial Credit Union. What do we got, baby?
Well, we called an Audible late edition. Reading the room. I think this will be something that Tim may enjoy. A little back in the day Philadelphia Adams highlight film from 1973.
The Philadelphia Adams were a fledgling franchise in 1973.
John Facenda.
Born into the ranks of the North American Soccer League at a time when no professional soccer team in the United States could claim any real notoriety. That was a situation they alone would change in 1973.
Wow, look at that.
This soccer team would
Looks like
run
they're playing in the dark behind me.
I know.
mostly Europeans and Latin Americans had tread. This soccer team had the only American coach in the league. Al Miller, recruited from
Look at that hair.
Sideburns, man.
Wow.
Nice.
on Miller's
My
team.
dad had that hair.
Bob Rigby, Delaware County, Pennsylvania.
The soccer balls have changed, right? They've got a little better than back in the day.
Just a tad.
To Philadelphia.
The Adams.
Yeah, just wanted to get a little
Anyway,
flavor.
good stuff. All right, everybody, it's going to do it for us. BG, great job, Andrew, Ethan, and Tim McDermott, union president. Have a great day, everybody. We love you. See you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.